just easier in general. And I didn't know anything about clothes, like as far as value, you know, what was valuable or what wasn't. And I'm one of those people who I like inexpensive lessons. I don't want to go buy something for $10 and then find out it's worth $7 and then I lost $3.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do that. So what I will do though is go buy a bunch of clothes for $1 a piece. Figure if most of them aren't worth very much, that's okay. But if one or two are worth 40 or 50, then I made my money back for all of them, right? So one day, out of the blue, Doug just like, he puts up with me, Seth. I don't know why. But anyway, we're out at estate sales, and these people really gave me a hard time about trying to buy some clothes from them. And I got kind of pissed because I was like, I like estate sales more than garage sales, by the way. They're my favorite. I love to go to estate sales. And so nobody buys clothes at estate sales. They buy the antiques and the furniture and stuff like that. The clothes always end up waiting, unless it's something really cool like NFL, you know, jackets and stuff like that. But just your everyday clothes, people don't buy them. So they were giving me a hard time, and it kind of pissed me off. I remember Doug was like, I can't believe how mad you are. I'm like, well, I don't know why they were making such a big deal of it. They had no prices on their clothes. And when she was adding it up, she was going, dip it, and I couldn't hear what she was saying or how, where are you getting those numbers from and stuff. So she said like, you know, $60 or something like that. And I go, okay, can you do 50 for all the clothes or whatever? And that's when she got like really rude and snappy with me. And I was like, okay, you can say no without being like rude, right? Like you can literally just go, no, these are the prices today or whatever, you know. But she was like, and she had been rude kind of to everybody that day. At one point, I had brought up a chess set to her, but the chess, there was no pieces. So I go, does this have pieces or is it just the board or whatever? She goes, they're inside. I go, what? And I didn't know what that meant. Inside the house, inside the garage. What do you mean inside? And she pulls out some secret drawer, and they're obviously not the chess pieces to the thing and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I go, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you. She told me to come ask you. And she goes, well, I just don't know why you guys can't help yourselves. You're all just so help. She was so rude to everybody. So finally, I was like, I am out of here. I could not. I was so mad. And Doug was laughing at me because he was like, you're so bad because you didn't get $300 worth of clothes for $50. You got it for $60. And I'm like, shut up. I'm mad. So I went to the next estate sale, and she had a lot of really cool vintage pieces. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to do this thing. And I walked up to her and I go, hey, my name's Crystal, and I buy clothes at the end of estate sales. So I don't pay your prices for them, but what I will do is at the end of the estate sale, I'll come make you an offer and I'll take all the clothes away so you don't have to donate them. How does that sound? She goes, oh my God, that sounds wonderful. And Doug was like, what the fuck is she talking about? She has never done this before in her life. And so that's how I started buying all the clothes at the end of estate sales. And I had like regular customers who would call me and say, we have an estate sale this weekend. Can you come get all the clothes or whatever? And for the longest time, I had this huge living room, and it was just full of sheets filled with clothes, because then after I got them, I'd have to sort through all of them. I'd have to take pictures of all of them. I'd have to write listings for all of them. And I did really well for a long time, but eventually I was like, I just can't anymore. This is just boring the hell out of me. So I don't do it anymore.
Did you like sell it for like way cheaper than it should be or something? Like, how did you make sure to like sell all the clothes?
Oh,
like, because bought it?
Oh yeah, like so I just took pictures of them, posted on eBay, Poshmark, Etsy if it was vintage and stuff like that. And I cross-posted, and I had software that helped me keep track of what bin it was in. I had an inventory system. I had everything. And I was a one-man show doing it all, plus doing the social media for it and everything and stuff. I will say that in my golden years, and I just talked about this with Doug yesterday. I said, look, anytime you need me to go back to selling, I can. I know it makes money and it brings in money and stuff, but when we get older, we want to run like a little campground and live on the campground, run the campground, stuff like that. But I was telling them, I can always still do jewelry. You could go buy out a woman of all her costume jewelry, and costume jewelry can be worth a lot of money. It's not, you don't have to have gold and silver. If it's by brands like Napier, Coro, I can't even think of all of them right now, especially vintage name brand jewelry, you can buy it for like 25 cents and sell it for $50. There's a huge price you can, but you buy entire lots of it to make your price be as low as possible. And then you get rid of all the junk, and then you just sell the pieces that are valuable and stuff. So we've also bought out storage lockers. Well, I've been on the show Storage Wars before.
Wait,
like in the background.
What?
And I actually was asked to audition, and I did audition. Doug and I auditioned for Storage Wars back in the day. Yeah. But we didn't make the cut. And I'm actually glad we didn't make the cut, because that show behind the scenes became such trash. Like, there was so much backfighting and just horrible, and I'm so glad we didn't end up being on the show, but we did audition for it. Our biggest storage locker win was really one of the things that like boosted us into it more was we wanted to buy a storage locker really bad because we had been watching, and now I knew how to resell and I knew what to do, right? So we're like, let's go buy a storage locker. So we started going, and for about 6 months, we would go to these auctions, but we would never pull the trigger. We were just like, nope.
Yeah, I know.
This one time, they opened up a locker, and it had, here's what happened. We are at Storage Wars, and they are filming while we're trying to do these auctions. And I didn't like when they were filming, because we have to do retakes and stuff. And it's like the auction would take forever because it was like such a pain. So I was getting really sick of it. I told Doug, you know what? There's another storage auction in about a half hour, right down the road. Let's go get some lunch and let's go to that one, because everybody's over here because they all want to watch them. So nobody's going to be at that other one, right? So let's go to that one and maybe we'll get a really good deal. And he was like, okay, let's do that. So we went, ate lunch, we went to this other storage auction, and they opened up this locker, and everything was covered. You couldn't see anything. There was blankets over every single thing, but what you could see was dust on the blankets that had to been like 10 years old. And underneath, I could barely see some veneer of like old furniture or something. Oh. And then in the back, I saw this tin that was like a really old Cracker Jack tin or something like that. And so I got a couple of clues that this looks like it might be antiques and stuff. So they start the bidding, and then I bid, and I was like, what? She just fucking bid on this. What the fuck, And then, and we had made up our minds or something that like 550 was the max or something that we were going to go. But when it hit 550, my mouth just said 600. Oh, yeah. And Doug is like, what is she fucking doing right now? And anyway, I bid it up to $750, $200 over budget. Oh my God. And I won. And so Doug was pissed at first. He was just like, that was $200 over budget. I can't believe you did this. And then he was like, now you have to go pick up the kids while I start loading this up, because you have 24 hours to empty a locker. That's the rules. You bid on it, And the reason you're bidding on it is that storage company wants that locker empty so
Right,
they can rent it out again. And that they do not care about anything else. They just want you to get that shit out. You have to sweep it. You have to do everything. Otherwise, and a lot of them make you pay a deposit before you bid to basically, so you won't leave shit behind that you didn't like or whatever, you know? So we're like, this is our first time. So we're taking it real serious. Like, we got to get this out 24 hours. So we got to start right now, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll go pick up the kids. You start loading up the locker. And he keeps sending me picture after picture. This was an antique store that shut down, that they put everything in a locker.
Oh, shit.
And then they unalived, and their family, you know, didn't know about the locker or something. And it went into, you know, where non-payment and for auction. So every single thing inside it was an antique. We got the most beautiful pieces you can imagine of furniture, of collectibles, of everything. And then when we got home and he's unloading the truck, he would bring things in every once in a while, be like, look at this, look at that, you know, and it was all really cool stuff. But I found this little bag, and I was shaking the little bag, and it had coins in it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And I poured it out, and it was full of Indian head pennies. Which I had never seen, by the way. I was like, this is freaking cool. So, you know, and then he walked in with a bag, and he was shaking it, and it had coins in it. And he dumped it out, and it had 31-ounce Mexican Troy silver coins. And at the time, that was worth $3,000.
Holy shit.
When we bought it. So we ended up making over $10,000 off that locker easily. And I think I still have stuff from it.
That's so that would be so fun. Like,
it was really, really fun. I love doing it, and I would do it if I had like a little team of people to do it with me. I just can't do it by myself anymore. It's so much work. It's a lot of lifting. It's a lot of moving things around. But then there's the photography and writing out the descriptions and posting the thing, and then shipping. That's a whole different thing. There's so many issues with shipping that it's ridiculous. People think, oh, you just print a label and you ship it. No, I wish it was like that. It's not.
yeah.
Okay, you guys, we've talked enough about me. It's time to talk about you.
I was just like, how can we just turn this into Decon Q and A?
I was gonna ask, Crystal, was that like the best treasure that you found? It was like the biggest item that you've ever had. The
best treasure I ever found was, and I'll post this in the Discord. I grew up in I was a teenager in the 80s. So the 80s are my era. The music, the everything, the style, that's me. I'm still stuck in the 80s if I could be, you know. I love the 80s. And in the 80s, there was an artist that I loved. And my best friend and I always wanted to own a piece of art by him. His name was Patrick Nagel. I don't know if you've ever heard of Patrick Nagel. He's very famous from the 80s because once his artwork came out, salons started copying it and using like his art at hair salons and stuff. And those are called fagels because they're fake nagels. So everybody made a fagel. Patrick Nagel made the Duran Duran album.
Okay.
Are we sure we want to go around saying that?
Fagel? I'm sorry, I didn't even think about that. It's not a hate crime.
Did we just get hate crimes on Pride Month, Benny?
Yeah, I don't know.
No. Anyway, I loved Patrick Nagel. And one day I was at Goodwill in a little place called Murrieta, California. It's not a very big town. It's not, rich and famous people don't live there or anything like, well, I don't know. Dr. Dre, I guess, has his kids there or something. Anyway, My sister just sent me a text. Are you in Big Bear fishing? Nope, I'm not. I'm not there right now. Anyway, so I'm walking in this Goodwill, and I see the biggest nagel I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is huge. But I'm like, obviously there's posters and stuff like that of his everywhere. Like, you could still buy it.
Yeah, what do they call them? Like lithographs or something? Yeah.
Well, actual posters, like, they're not worth anything. A lithograph is at least still worth some money, right? But there are so many posters because he did things like he worked for Playboy and he did the Duran Duran album. See, the thing about Patrick Nagel was he also unalived in the 80s. So he unalived in the most 80s way possible. He went to an aerobics competition. He did some white stuff, and then he had a heart attack in his car. Because, you know, aerobics and white stuff doesn't really go well together, you know? So I thought in my lifetime I would never get to own a Nagel, you know? But then I saw it, and I couldn't get to it because there was like 50 pictures in front of this big, huge picture. So I was pulling the pictures back, and I called my daughter over and I said, can you tell me, does that signature look like an actual signature or like a reprint or whatever? And she goes, oh, Mom, it's in pencil. And I went, what? Because in case you don't know this, artists actually sign serigraphs and lithographs and so forth often in pencil. It's not done in pen. And on the other side, the company who makes the serigraphs, their signature was in the left side. And so it was $50, and it was about 6 feet tall, this picture was. So I bought it.
Oh my God.
And we were broke at the time, too. So I remember thinking, Doug is going to kill me when I bring this home. Doug is fucking going to kill me. And I brought it home, and we didn't have anywhere for it either. I had the tiniest house at the time. There was absolutely no place for this picture. And I started doing homework on it. And it turns out that all the homework I did was saying, this thing is real. This is a signed serigraph, or I think it's a serigraph, by Patrick Nagel called The Standing Lady. And it just so happens that in San Diego, California, there is a couple who is known by the Nagel estate to be the only people who can, like, authenticate or whatever the work of Patrick Nagel. And I contacted them through a forum or whatever, and they said, bring it to us. We want to see it. And I was like, okay. So we put it in our truck and we took it down to them. They took it out of the frame. They examined it, and they were like, okay, we have good news and we have bad news for you. And I said, okay, what's the good news? And I said, they said the good news is that this is a Patrick Nagel serigraph. It is very rare to ever get an original, because what he did was he made an original and then he had serigraphs produced of his work, and he did limited numbers. This is one of 20. Mine is actually number 8 of 20, I think, which is a good number.
Whoa.
And she goes, this is the largest piece that Patrick Nagel ever did. The company who made it is the best serigraph company in the world. That's why they've signed it. He worked with them, you know, and she said, but the bad news is that the market for Patrick Nagel's pieces, you know, it's down right now. So this is probably going to be worth only like $10,000 right now.
Only.
Oh no.
And then on top of it, we bought this house, and this house has a beautiful place above the fireplace where it needed a huge picture, so it hangs above my fireplace. And And my son and daughter-in-law love it, and they have decided that one day when we pass, they would like it. And I like that they like the same artwork as me.
I need to
because
look this up.
I didn't think anybody would like it. Look at the standing lady.
There's like, so on Google Images, I don't know which one.
I'll show you exactly.
Is she wearing yellow, pink, or?
There's a moon behind her.
There's a moon? Oh, I see it.
Yeah, G tweet? What the hell? Are we talking about deconstructing from LGBTQ?
What?
Yeah. It's like,
this is the standing lady. Oop. This is the standing lady, but mine actually has like, it's wider. It's not as thin as this. And actually at the time, it looks more like this, but this one I could tell is small.
Yeah.
Mine is huge.
Cool. That's so wild.
So yeah, that was my favorite find ever. I love it. And yeah, I love finding a good deal at an estate sale. So that's enough about me.
Dang it, we were still trying to keep going.
I know, but it's your turn now. Okay, here you go. Here are, and don't worry, I answered the questions too. So you'll still get to learn more about
Crystal.
me. When's the last time that either of you have danced?
Last night.
Last night, we went dancing.
Yeah. We went to...
Really?
Yeah, we went to a white party for Pride. And so, like, I surprisingly, okay, G Tweet, can you please just not, this is not the vibe, dude. Anyway,
dude, this is about Seth and Benny today, not about you.
Yeah, yeah. So I successfully found a white outfit. And speaking of finding deals, Crystal, so like I have these shoes that I found. They're called Kiziks. Have you ever seen them before?
No, huh?
Where you just like step into them. So they're great for people that, you know, don't want to bend over and struggle to put on your shoes. But they're like super comfortable, and they're kind of expensive if you were to buy them new, you know, like 100 to 150. But I was trying to find white shoes because I had like found shorts, I found some shirts, and I randomly went to Marshall's and I wasn't really expecting to find anything. And I looked, hell yeah, Grana, you know about Kiziks. And I found some white shoes. I was like, oh, those are nice. And then I realized they were Kiziks. And I've never seen them in stores. And they were only $40. And yeah, it's...
Yeah, I just looked them up.
It's Kizzik, I think is how it's spelled.
So you can just slide your feet in them?
Yeah, you just like step into them.
That's the same with the Skechers ones that they have out now. Have you seen those? I have those, and I love them. I know.
Yeah, it's so nice.
When you have back problems, I'm sorry, sometimes bending over to put your shoes on, tie them and stuff, it hurts your back. Well, but these are so easy.
Yeah, it's just like the whole thing. Like, even if you don't have back problems, it's just like, personally, for me, like putting on shoes sometimes is like, why is this taking me 45? Like, why am I getting so sweaty? Just trying to put on shoes.
Why is this a workout?
Yeah. But anyway.
Okay,
yeah,
I put my shoes on, my workout's done.
Yeah. Yeah, my Apple Watch just told me that I completed my move goal for today.
Exactly.
But yeah, we went to this white party, and that was honestly, sadly, kind of a bust. It seemed like they just kind of had an idea and threw it together last minute, and then we got there, and it was just like, "Where's the party?" I don't.
We were like,
It was like it was just like a normal night at this bar, and it's a really cool little. It's called Tiny House, and it's just, I think it was like a little house, and it's in downtown Omaha, and they have like all kinds of fun cocktails, and they have one. They're very like political, so they have a drink called the Fuck Pete Ricketts, which used to be our governor, and he's just a piece of shit. And so, so we hung out there for a while, and then we went to the gay bar, and they were doing strip night. And so we watched some strip shows, and that was super fun. There were a ton of people there.
It was more like a burlesque kind of thing.
Yeah, it was more like
Oh,
burlesque.
that's cool.
And then we went to this, like, the bigger gay nightclub, and that's where we danced. And
yeah.
It was fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have been trying to think. I've been trying to think of when the last time I danced was, but I think it's literally last summer. And only reason I haven't done it yet this summer is for some reason we haven't really hung out by the pool yet. And usually we've already been hanging out by the pool and stuff. But I love to blast my music in my backyard. And then I have no problem singing and dancing like I am the fucking main attraction in my backyard. I will belt it out on my diving board. And I'm kind of worried about getting new neighbors because I think I've told you guys before, my neighbors when we moved in, nicest people ever. And then recently, unfortunately, she has dementia and they've had to like move, and they loved our music. I have to tell you the funniest thing though. One time they came out and their names were Arden and Harleen. I just love those names. They're just like so cute and old fashioned, right? And Arden and Harleen. Yeah, so Arden comes out and goes, "Oh, so did you have grandkids over?" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, we heard some kids." And I just started laughing so hard. And I go, "Arden, that was me." And he goes, "No, I heard kids back here." I'm like, "Arden, I'm the only one." I'm the only one. I promise you. You just heard me.
Honestly,
yes,
nothing.
I have.
Go on. Sorry.
I have bubbles and squirt guns and shit, and I have no grandkids over in my backyard. They're all from me. I play. I have fun in my pool. I didn't have one as a kid, so I do all the fun stuff in my pool that I would have done when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I do have a granddaughter now, and then we think there's another one on the way, but it's not official.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we'll have kids over to play with us, in the summers and stuff, but not yet. It's just me making all the noise.
I was just going to say, at-home dance parties are honestly the best, though. Like, I love at-home dance parties most of, like, any kind of party.
Yeah. Okay, what's the best Wi-Fi name you've ever seen? Or given your Wi-Fi router?
You got me wondering now, because, like, we've had some pretty good ones for our neighbors. I probably, I guess people could, like, stalk us and figure it out, like, by turning on the Wi-Fi and going through the neighborhoods of Omaha. I know I've had one that was, like FBI van. Like, I like that one.
Yeah. I've never come up with a good name. for a Wi-Fi, but I will tell you a couple of passwords I've had, okay? Because they had to do with the freaking Wi-Fi. One time I had to change my password for Amazon again for the 40 millionth time, and I was so pissed because it did that thing where you go to put in your password and it says, nah, that's not your password. And you're like, what? And you put it in again. They're like, no, you're wrong. You want to make a new one? All right, fuck it. I'll make a new one because I have no idea what my password
any
is.
of your last 10 passwords.
And it's like,
oh
bitch.
My God.
And I'm like, you just said that wasn't my password. Why can't I use it?
Yeah.
So I got really mad and I made my password, fuck you, Amazon, 7 times. And so, so when my kids would come over, or, and they would be like, hey, we want to log into Amazon Prime. What's your password? It's fuck you, Amazon, 7 times. Thank you.
Love it.
And then another time, I was so tired of having to come up with a password for our Wi-Fi or something, because it was always something with that too, right? So I was like, okay, we're going to name it a phrase. It's going to be a phrase that we all know and we all remember in this family, so you guys can quit texting me, what's the password or whatever. And they were like, okay. So I made it, I'm so hungry I could ride a horse. That's from Family Guy. And you had to type it all out. And I think that like one S was a 5 or something like that in the whole password. And they were like, so every once in a while, somebody would quote that from Family Guy. They would go, I'm so hungry, I could ride a horse. And everybody would go, shh, don't tell everybody our password. Yeah, we had that, and then my husband got sick of it. He was like, "That's too long. I'm changing it. I can't take it."
Our password, I'm just gonna give it because.
If you ever want to come over and use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's Crusty Pig Loaf.
Oh, I love that.
That is like an ancient inside joke with me and my best friend Erica, where we were, like those old 70s cookbooks, like the Betty Crocker cookbooks. Where they just
I have one.
Like monstrosities, like sins against humanity. Like olives and Jello and shit like that.
I will tell you a real one that I had to eat. My mom got one from the Betty Crocker, and we ate this. You put a piece of lettuce on a plate to make it look pretty, and put a half of a pear from a can on top of that, and then put a dollop of Miracle Whip on that pear, and then eat that shit, okay? Because that's what I had to eat.
Why? God.
She found in Betty Crocker. Betty Crocker ruined the 70s for many of us when it came to our palates.
But this, like, Crusty Pig Loaf was a dish that they had.
My God.
And I think it was like a meatloaf something. It's just like...
Whoa.
But we thought that was the funniest thing ever, when we were kids.
That's hilarious.
And so it's just something that's always like stuck with me, and it's been like the password for every Wi-Fi network for the past like 10 years.
That's awesome. I love it.
Because who's gonna guess that?
Nobody. And nobody's gonna say I'm hungry, I'm so hungry I can ride a horse. Nobody's gonna say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what is the most embarrassing fashion emergency you've ever had?
I don't know if this counts, but I peed my pants one time. Well, actually, this happened twice when I was out and about in other places. Like I was in Memphis Tennessee the first time. We were just like hitting some bars, and I should have gone to the bathroom or we left, but I like could not hold it. And so like before we got back to the hotel, I was just like, oh my God, it's happening. It's happening.
Oh
I
no.
don't know what to do. And the second time, we literally made it to the hotel, but in the elevator, I I that was where I ended up eating my and it's just like, what is wrong with me? It's just something. Clearly, I had had too much to drink.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, so that's the thing that I'm thinking of for my fashion emergencies.
What about you, Benny?
So like really not a fashion emergency, but like more just embarrassing. So when I was in junior high / high school, like Aeropostale and American Eagle and Hollister, they were all like starting up, but they weren't like quite there yet, like with their looks. And I think it was like Aeropostale had these visors that you could buy, like with the top, like your hair would stick out from the top. And my look back then, it was like I think 8th grade. I would wear a long sleeve shirt under a short sleeve shirt, and I would wear the visor upside down and backwards.
Is that your blunder years?
It was so bad. I've tried to get rid of all of the pictures of me looking like that. I used to have a ton of
If you
visors.
find one, you better post it in the Discord. We need to see that picture. It's amazing. Look how far you've come, not wearing a stupid hat.
Visors are never a good choice. Unless you're like playing poker, never a good choice.
Okay, so I was a fashionista in the 80s, okay? I loved fashion. I literally never wore the same outfit twice. I never did. I was known for not wearing the same outfit twice. And I was only able to do that because I worked at a little clothing store called the $5 clothing store, where everything was $5 or under. And so I had a huge wardrobe, and I constantly bought new clothes all the time. And so it was 1984, and it was graduation. And no, it was prom. It was prom of 1984. And I did not want to look like all the other girls in their prom dresses. I wanted to be special. So I picked out a lovely little ivory lace, kind of flapperish short dress instead of a long dress. I wanted to make a statement and be like the only one at my prom in a formal short dress, And I was the only one at the prom in the short dress. So then one day I decided to wear it to Disneyland because me and my friends all hung out at Disneyland, and my boyfriend was in the band at Disneyland. And so I thought, I'm going to show up.
What did he play? What did he play in the band?
He was a keyboardist.
Okay. Keyboardist, respect.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah. He actually could sing and everything. He is very talented. He's a producer now in LA. You might know him from his work on a little movie by Disney called The Road to El Dorado, because he wrote most of the music and stuff in there, or did a lot of the work on that movie.
That's awesome.
I think he also worked on I'm not going to drop because he's nobody and he's a dick, so he doesn't deserve any of this attention. Okay. Anyway, he's in the band, and I want to show up looking really cute in my little lace dress, and so I show up, and my arch enemy is wearing the same fucking dress.
No.
And everybody had to point it out to me all freaking night long. Like, did you see Nancy
Like,
has the
as
same
if-
dress as you?
As if I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so that was my only like real fashion blunder, was showing up thinking I was gonna be all stylish, thinking I was gonna be the cutest one there. Yeah, fuck Nancy, Justin. Fuck her.
Fuck Nancy.
The worst.
So yeah, that was my fashion blunder. But then, and when I would tell like my kids and stuff when we were growing up that I never wore the same outfit twice, I don't think that they really like comprehended that until they met my best friend. And then she goes, "Do you know your mom never used to wear the same outfit twice?" And they were like, "Wait, really? She really did it?" Because I think they just thought I was telling tales. And she was like, "Oh no, she never did. She always had the cutest outfits." And so now, nope, it's shorts and a t-shirt for me. You're lucky if you can get me to dress up. Okay, let's see. What's something you never let run out in your fridge? You have to have it. It's got to be there. Don't let it run out.
Diet Pepsi. It's a must. I don't drink
For
coffee.
both of you?
I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
So Ben is a Diet Pepsi person. I am a Diet Coke person. But I have been trying to drink less of it. So I don't have, I would say for me, it would be Fairlife.
Yeah.
What's Fairlife?
They're like,
It's like a protein shake, but it's basically like chocolate milk. Like it's super, to me, it's super good.
it tastes
And
like a shake that you would buy like from like McDonald's or something.
Ooh.
It's got like 30 grams of protein in it, so I'll usually drink it after my workout, and it's only like
Nice.
160 calories. So yeah, it's good stuff. And you can buy like a huge pack of them for
Like
$30 at Costco.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
yeah. Yep.
Bye, Jay. Good to see you. Happy
Bye,
Pride Month
Jay.
again. Love you, Jay.
Pride.
Okay, two things that we don't let run out, and that's Dr. Pepper Zero. I freaking love Zero everything. Like, if I'm not a Pepsi drinker, but if my choice for sugar-free is sugar-free or zero of something, I'm getting the Zero.
Oh, really?
Zero has, yes, it's so much better than diet tasting things. It does.
Diet. I don't know why.
What's the difference? Like, I guess I don't understand what the
It
difference
uses
is.
a different sweetener. And that's why it doesn't leave like the same kind of aftertaste that other sweeteners use. Yes, Dr. Pepper Strawberry and Cream Zero. It's
I know
so good.
Justin loves his Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I feel like all of our friends drink Dr. Pepper strawberry or the like with the cream. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the strawberries and cream
Ooh,
for
yeah,
me.
Poppy is bomb, actually.
Poppy's good.
Yeah, isn't Poppy kind of expensive though? Every
Yes,
time I see it, it
it's like
feels like it's $1
$2.50
million.
a can.
I think
Yeah,
it's like fake news too, where it's like vitamin water, where it's like, oh, it's good for you with probiotics and stuff like that, but it's like
Prebiotics.
prebiotic. Yeah, and it's just a soft drink.
Yeah,
It
just
is.
a little less sugar and
We also don't let milk run out because we have our own espresso machine. So we make iced coffees here and stuff. So milk actually is the number one thing we won't let run out. As a matter of fact, we do game plans about it. Like we're like, here's how much milk we have left. Here's how many more coffees have to be made. Is somebody running to the store? Who's got this? You know, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll go. You run in,
Yeah.
I'll drive you over.
milk is another one for us. I feel like that we're pretty good about keeping stocked.
It's got to
And
be lactose free though.
Yeah, we buy the lactose free milk, and it's just a little bit more expensive. Tastes exactly the same, and you don't have to get the lactose issues.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, I think we should have lactose free here. Trust me, I think we should.
It's seriously, I don't know I don't know why. I guess I liked, regular milk growing up. I was not lactose intolerant, but then I think I drank too much regular milk because my mom, there was 3 boys, and we all, we would drink a lot of milk. We would go through like 4 gallons of milk each week. So I think I just drank so much lactose that I made myself lactose intolerant.
Yeah, no, I think that most people actually are lactose intolerant, but they're ignoring it. That's my theory.
True.
Yeah. Man, the Got Milk campaign.
Yeah.
We had it so rough. Just just drink milk. It'll make you healthy. And it's actually, I think this is giving an entire generation of people lactose issues.
Yes, exactly. I have said before that I think I'm in a place right now where I might want to become vegetarian, because the more I deconstruct, the more I think about sentience of animals and things like that and stuff. But I don't think I'm giving up the dairy ever. Because cheese, I don't like vegetarian cheese. I don't care what they do to it. It's not the same. And so I think I could give everything up but that.
Yeah, I think vegetarian, I could probably do that, because we like Impossible burgers anyway. That's if we're gonna have a burger, that's usually what we'll get. But veganism, the only thing I have respect for people that do that. That's a
Me
lot
too.
of discipline.
Yeah. W Mezzo for being a vegan.
Yeah.
But the thing I don't understand, and I will die on this hill, is honey. Not eating honey, because I'm you guys, bees make honey.
Wait,
whether
included
we
in...
ask them to or not,
right.
You're not they do it. So I don't find any sort of ethical issue with honey, with eating honey. So if I was going to be a vegan, that would be I'm a vegan, but I still eat honey because.
Yeah. Well, Benny, anything that's a byproduct from an animal or of an animal, vegans consider you don't eat those things.
I thought veganism was if it casts a shadow, you can't eat it.
What?
Oh, like a hedgehog?
I'm just playing. Because it's everything casts a shadow.
I love you. If it casts a shadow,
my humor's
don't
very
eat it. Honey
weird.
doesn't cast a shadow. The light goes right through it. You can have honey.
Clear Jello. That's all you can eat.
No, not Jello.
That's so funny.
Not
Jello.
yeah,
gelatin is made out of bones.
Yeah. I hated that I found that out. I hate it. I don't want to know those things.
I think licorice too doesn't that have
licorice is made from sarsaparilla root and some other stuff, but
oh yeah, I meant a groundhog. You're right. I said hedgehog.
Groundhog.
close
I said hedgehog. You're trying to toe bacon. Oh, there's a really good fake bacon, and we always call it fakin'. And I actually really like it. My daughter will be like, "Mom, can you buy some fakin'?" I don't know what it's really called, but I actually really like it. It's pretty good. Okay, let's see. Let's see. You need something and you have to have it by tomorrow. Are you ordering from Amazon or are you running out to get it?
By tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Amazon.
So, yeah, because the reason why is because if we try to go out and find something specific, and this happens every time we go to our little cabin out in Colorado, and it's out in the mountains, so the most you got is a dollar store and an Ace Hardware. and for some reason you're like, I really need, this random like item that I never ever have to look for, and we can't get Amazon out there, so we would like go looking for it. And this happens even in Omaha. Like anytime we have to go look for an item, it is like the most, I don't know, like ridiculous, like perfect storm of like bad events or like just frustrating. Like they ran out of it, or like they have only like one size of it and it's like way too big or way too small, or like something like really close and you could like modify it and maybe that will work. So Amazon just has it. You can get exactly what you need and it's gonna be there.
I think it was the window air conditioner. Ace Hardware gaslit us, and we're like, "Oh yeah, we have one." And then the store was under construction at the time, so everything was kind of in disarray. Like they were remodeling, and
they had one in stock, but they couldn't find it.
They could not find it.
Oh my god!
No,
that's because an employee stole it.
Probably.
Yeah, inventory in stores' computers are based on what they received and what they sold, but never is anything that was stolen ever accounted for. So when it says there's one and there's not one, somebody stole it, unfortunately, is what it means.
Yeah.
Usually an employee, because of something that's that big. I mean, it's not like so easy to just walk out of the store with that.
Yes.
But an employee
gave me a flashback. I used to work at Blockbuster, and we used to do inventory like quarterly.
Yes.
We would also have our friends come in because the like security thing at the door was broke. Mm-hmm. So it was only there for like looks. So we would just tell our friends, like, just go and just like grab the like movie or game or whatever you want. Just walk out. And, like, we'll take a hammer to it and just bust it open later on.
That's so funny.
But yeah, and then we'd find it on the inventory, like it wouldn't be there anymore. So,
well, we would buy from Amazon too, because up until just this past like week or so, we had 3 of the kids worked for Amazon. How can I not support Amazon? I got family who work for Amazon. So my son is still pretty big up in Amazon. He is, okay, so I don't know if you guys know, Amazon works on like levels and stuff, okay? And so you move up levels, okay? And so like level 7's pretty high. I forget, like Jeff Bezos is like a 9 or a 10 or something. So 7 is really good.
Oh, wow.
And my son's like a 7. And then my daughter was a 5, but she quit because they harassed the hell out of her. She moved from a really good department to a really crappy department. And then that department harassed her. And then her husband worked for Amazon, and he just left. I forget who he's going to work for, though. He's going to work for somebody else, not Amazon. But anyway, so yeah, I had to support Amazon. I had to support it. I would be in trouble if I didn't. So, but yeah, if I need it tomorrow, and I'm in California, we can get tomorrow here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some places you live, you can't get tomorrow.
I would say Omaha.
7th degree Amazonian sounds like a secret society. It does.
It does.
Level 7. Yeah, or like it sounds like a cult, like a little bit. Yeah.
Right, a little Scientology-ish there. Mm-hmm. And if you continue to do good and learn how to do all the boxes correctly, then we will get the thetans out of you and you can move up to level 8, okay? Okay, what's the most awkward interaction you've ever had with another person?
Oh, I've had some really awkward interactions before. You could talk about that nurse. We've already told that story, though.
Oh my god!
That said like the F slur in front of us. She's like, "Oh, I'm an F slur hag." And
oh yeah.
so awkward. It's like, you can't, like, we were just talking about it last night. We were like, we should have called the police on her. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I've been through so many awkward situations, like cringe moments that I probably think about like every single night too. Like that's why I can't like just fall asleep ever. I can't think.
I'll tell you one of the funniest ones I've had. Okay, I was a manager at Denny's back in the day when Doug first met me, and okay, so the band from Disneyland, okay? There was a drummer in it. His name was Victor. There was a saxophone player in it, and his name was Pablo, okay? And, no, Pablo didn't play the saxophone. He played the keys too. I'm sorry, he played the keys too. Anyway, those two guys were cousins. And their last name was Loyo. Don't go look these people up, okay? Anyway, and so I go to apply for Denny's as a restaurant manager. I'm a single mom. I'm getting a divorce from my husband, and I'm very nervous because I don't know how I'm going to support me and my son. But I know I could probably be a restaurant manager at Denny's because I had worked there for so long as a waitress, and I need an actual salary, not just waitress tips now. I need to take care of my son, right? So I apply, and the district manager's last name is Loyo, and I'm like, that's weird. I have some friends with that last name, Victor and a Pablo or whatever. He goes, they're my cousins. So I get the job. I'm hired, and he loves me because I know his cousins, okay? Right. And one day he comes into the restaurant when we're all working, and he says that he would like us all to have dinner with him. This isn't a question of will you, this is you will sit and have dinner with me tonight. So I called Doug and I said, listen, I'm really sorry, I'm going to be late tonight. The district manager came in, he wants us to have dinner with him. And he's like, okay, you know. So we sit down, and he starts to tell this story, and he says, I have this friend one time when she was little, her grandparents were divorced. And I was like, oh, my grandparents were divorced too. And he goes, and one time her grandpa was coming to visit, and she was really small, and she had never really met her grandma and grandpa. And I was like, yeah, that was like me too. And then he goes, and then when her grandpa came to visit, her grandpa and her grandma showed up. And I'm like, oh my God, this is my story. What the fuck? He is telling my fucking story to me. He's fucking telling my story to me right now. And so while he's telling this story, I look at my boss. I'm like, hey, Shabir, can I talk to you in the office for a minute real quick? Because I don't even know what to do. I don't know how to act. This is literally my story that somebody else is telling to me as if I'm not sitting there and it's not about me. And so I take Shabir in the office. I'm like, he's telling my story. And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, I don't know how he knows this story. Maybe Victor or maybe Pablo or something had told him this story, but the story that he is telling you right now is about me, and I don't know how to act, because how do you act when your boss is doing this and he's like a bigwig boss, but it's literally about you, you know? And he's like, how do you know it's about you? I go, listen, he's going to tell you that this girl tells her mom, hey, grandma and grandpa are here. And the mom in the story is going to say, that can't be, honey. Only grandpa's coming, okay? But then her mom and dad show up at the door, and she is even shocked. The mom is shocked. And he goes, okay, why did you pull me in here? Let's go sit down. Let's go back out there. So we go back out there. And sure enough, he continues with the story. He said, so the little girl's watching, and she sees her grandma and her grandpa pull up, and she runs and tells her mom, grandma and grandpa are here. And her mom's like, no, honey, that's probably just somebody turning around in the driveway. Only grandpa's coming. And then what happened was, my mom goes to the door, and her mom and dad are standing there. They were divorced in the 30s. This is now the 70s. And they show up to the door to meet my mom, to tell her that they got remarried after all those years. because what happened was they both remarried when she was little. They had great marriages. Those people passed on, and somehow they decided to find each other again, and then they just started dating again, and then they got married again and showed up at my mom's door.
What?
And she told that story in front of me as if it was about another person entirely. And then once I had told Shabir what he was going to say, Shabir could not hold back his laughter. Like, he was starting to laugh during the story, which wasn't even a funny story. But he was like, God damn it, why did you tell me that? But that was very awkward. I was like, I don't even know what to do. This is about me.
I've had that happen.
There couldn't be two people.
Well,
So
I've had that happen sort of once, but yeah.
What happened? Did you ever you just let it?
I did not explain to Evie that story was about me. I let him continue the story, and me and Shabir just laughed about it all night after that, and we joked about it for years to come about
That's
how Evie told me a story all
weird.
about me. Yeah, it was really weird.
I know the most awkward moment. So I used to have a girlfriend, and one night we took things like fungus, and it was like New Year's Eve or something like that, and we were at this bar, and we had two friends with the same first name, and it was like Amanda, and my ex,
I've heard this story.
She had it saved in her phone as Mandy Pants, and we thought it was the other Amanda. So this whole night we're like telling this Amanda or Mandy Pants like, "Oh, come out to the bar with us. Come out to the bar." And we're like waiting because she's like, "All right, yeah, I'll come out and I'll meet you guys." Meanwhile, the other Amanda, who like looks nothing like her, and we didn't even think about her, came to the bar and was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And we're like, "Hey, yeah, we're just sitting here waiting for our friend." And she was like, "Yeah, me." And we're like, "No, our other friend." And she's like, "Oh," I thought you guys wanted me to come here." And we were like, no, our other friend is, she's still coming. We're talking to her right now. And we're like texting her. And she's like, "No, you guys are literally texting me right now." And we're like, and it was awkward. It was the most awkward thing I've ever been through. Because it was like, we're still friends with her.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. No, not you. We want the nice Amanda. But thanks for coming by, okay?
She came all the way out. She came and like met us at the bar, and we were like, why are you here? Who are you here with?
Yeah,
like, I'm here with you guys. No, and we were like,
we're texting our friend.
Us. Yeah, and we were
and she's like,
not in the right mental state. And we were like, "You're messing with us because we took some fungus." And
that is hilarious.
She was like, "No, you guys literally have been talking to me the whole night." And then it took us so long, but then it finally like clicked on us, and we're like, "Oh my God." And we're like, oh.
That is so funny. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Okay, you are forced to be in a competition television show like Survivor or The Great Race or something like that. Which show are you in?
Wait, does Road Rules count?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Road Rules.
Why do you pick Road Rules?
I just loved Road Rules. I don't know, I just think it'd be really fun to just travel in an RV, like a really badass bus RV though.
Hell yeah.
Do crazy stuff all over the country. And Road Rules, I was always a Road Rules person and never so much a Real World. I would watch Real World, but Road Rules was my jam back in the day.
Oh yeah, Road Rules was good. I forgot all about Road Rules. That was fun.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
I've thought about what it would be like if I was on a reality show before, and the image in my head is not pretty, or just be like, I just feel like I don't want to do that, guys. Like I just feel like I'd be like a hater, and it wouldn't work out very well. But I would
These
do
are
like
contrarian the whole time.
yeah, yeah. Or like if people were like being dramatic or arguing, I'd just be like, guys, like they would immediately boot me from the show because I would like try to keep the drama to a minimum and nobody wants to see like
No,
that's not
yeah.
exciting. So but I would do like uh I would a show I would be on that looks fun is what's the one with whammies or no whammies?
Oh,
And Elizabeth Banks hosts it now.
yeah. I don't know. The whammy, no whammy. It's like a.
I know money.
Deal. Is it Deal? Or
It's not Let's Make a Deal. It's not Deal or No Deal.
I'm gonna.
Why are we all blanking right now? See, that's something that happens to me too. Anytime somebody else
Press your luck. Press your luck.
yes. Yeah, I would be on that show. That seems fun.
Yeah, that does seem like a fun show.
That show will screw you over, though. I get like
Yeah.
anxiety from that show. Those little whammies are like little cartoon anxiety monsters.
So I was on a version of The Biggest Loser.
What?
I was on a local version of it in Wichita.
A local
I have
version.
struggled. Yeah. So when The Biggest Loser came out, they went into cities and they were like, do your own version. We'll, back it and do like little news clips of it for all their affiliates. Okay. And I've struggled my whole adult life to lose weight. I was very, very thin until I started having children and I started having issues with my thyroid. And I've gone to doctors. I've done all the good things and all the bad things to lose weight. I've done all of them. Okay. And so I was taking a bath and I heard like on TV or something in the other room about The Biggest Loser was going to be in Wichita and here's how you apply or whatever. So I was like, it was Valentine's Day. I remember it very clearly. And I was like, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do this and I'm going to get on that show and I'm going to lose. I'm going to win. I'm going to fucking win that show, you know?
Yeah.
So I signed up and I got on the show. I was really like actually shocked. I was like, okay, I'm on the show. And it sucked so bad because from day one, they already decided who was going to win the show as long as they did the work. Like they did our entire schedules around these two people. One was the heaviest person on the show, and one was the oldest person on the show. And so that meant because they like to get up, there was different teams, and the team I got had both of those people on it, unfortunately. And that meant I had to work around their workout schedule. So they wanted us at the gym at 5 a.m. because both of them like to get up at fucking the crack of dawn. And I am not a morning person by any stretch of the imagination. In Wichita, the gym was it would take me about not an hour to get there because Wichita's not that far, but for some reason I needed to be up and ready and out the door by 4 to be at the gym and ready to go by 5. Okay. And 4 is so fucking early. I was a mom with 3 kids, a full-time job and everything, but I did it. I got my ass out of that bed. And within the first 24 hours of them having us see a doctor, because they have you go see a doctor and everything. So I went and saw a doctor and the doctor said, you have thyroid disease. You have hypothyroidism. And I go, I do? And he goes, yeah. And I totally started crying. He goes, no, don't be upset. You're not going to die or anything. I know I'm crying because I've been saying this for like 20 years now. Nobody ever believes me. And so he explained to me, he goes, okay, so here's the margin of where your thyroid would be normal or abnormal or whatever, right? And he goes, and sometimes when it's over here, people say it's normal because it still fell within the lines. But to me, being right in the middle is normal. Anything past that is not, and so he goes, and you have also all the signs of thyroid disease, like, your hair is thinning and dry skin, not being able to lose weight, blah, 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 and everything. And he goes, so while, your general practitioner might not have put you on thyroid medication, I'm an endocrinologist and I think you should be, And I was like, okay, awesome. So he puts me on thyroid medication for thyroid disease. And it was hard to sleep at first, going from not having any of that medication to suddenly having medication. So now I can't sleep. I have to be up at 4:00 every morning to go work out. And for 3 days in a row, I've had no sleep. And for 3 days in a row, I'm waking up every morning at 4:00 in the morning and still driving myself to that gym. One day I got up and I just sat at these little stairs where I would sit and put my shoes on, and I just was crying. I was just like, I don't. And Doug got up and he's like, "What's the matter?" And I told him, he's like, "Come on, I'm gonna drive you to the gym. I'm gonna drive you." And I'm like, "You'll have to sit there for an hour while I work out, And he's like, "That's okay. We got this, And I go to the gym and Doug does a workout with me, and he was like, "Oh my God, that is the hardest workout I've ever seen anybody do." I'm like, "I know, it's killing me," and everything. So I was on this show. I think we did it for about 3 months. Everybody lost extraordinary amounts of weight, 70, 75, 100 pounds. I lost 35 pounds after 3 months. I worked out twice a day. I got up at 4:00 in the morning every day. I was working in retail. I never cheated. They offered me pills.
I remember you told me that.
Because I wasn't losing weight fast enough. Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
No, neither did my doctor. He was like, "What?"
Yeah.
I didn't take them, by the way.
Good.
Another girl and I were both offered pills, and both of us were like pissed because we thought it was all legitimate. We thought it was all about exercise and changing your lifestyle and stuff. And what we found out was, no, it's a competition. We're going to help you lose that weight no matter what it takes for you to get there, even if it's, not
healthy.
So, and needless to say, the big guy and the old lady won. Just like they wanted them to from the get-go. So it was like what it was, but it was a very fun experience. I met a lot of good people, and I would do it again. It was good. It was fun. It was what it was. Let's see. What's one of your favorite jokes to tell?
Sorry, the cat just tried to jump on the cat tree and fell. Now my dog's checking it out. Whenever I get put on the spot, I can never think of a joke other than this stupid joke of a man runs into a bar and says "ouch." That's and I hear jokes
here's a similar one. Two guys walk into a bar. You think the second one would have seen the first one do it?
Yeah, I like it. I like that one. I like the word jokes.
I have one. I think you've heard me tell this before, Crystal. It's a 2-part dad joke, and I came up with it myself too. So get ready, everybody, all 13 people here. So what did my accountant say when I was spending all my money on hummus?
I don't know. What did he say?
He said, "Stop living beyond your beans."
Oh my god.
Stop.
And the second,
No,
the second part is that I told him that the ends justify the beans.
oh my god.
Mean joke.
Okay, well, Justin told this joke through a super chat the other day, and I tried to retell this joke on somebody's Duke's live, I think, but then I screwed it up, so I never told the joke. But I like the way I tell it better than the super chat did, so I'm going to tell you guys the joke right now.
Okay.
So, this engineer dies and he goes to hell because it's Doug. It's Doug and he's going to hell. And when he gets to hell, he's just like Doug. He starts looking around. He's like, there's some shit I could fix around here, I noticed the air conditioning's out. Let's go ahead and get to work on that. And he goes and figures out that it's just like some compressor thing and it needs a little refrigerant, and he fixes the air conditioning. And then he's like, there's some other stuff I could do around here too. And Satan's like, have at it. So he goes around fixing everything. And God calls down to Satan and he's like, what is going on? And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, what's with the air conditioning and everything's starting to look all luxurious and all this stuff? And he goes, that. Oh yeah, I got an engineer. And he goes, what? And he goes, yeah, I got an engineer and he's fixing everything. He goes, you better fucking stop that shit right now or I will sue you. He's like, really? Where are you going to get a lawyer?
Nice. Nice.
I love that joke.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Thank you, Lopik. Love you. Okay, let's see. What's the most gimmicky home gadget you own?
We have a lot.
I could show you the record cleaner that Benny bought for like $500.
Wow, I love records and I love record clean. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's a, like, I don't know if somebody built it. Like, it's made out of like wood and it's just like a vacuum, like that, like you put over the record and like it'll spin it and you put like your like solution on the top of the record. You like scrub it into the grooves and everything. And then it like will like vacuum up the solution.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
It will like repair records. Like it'll make records that weren't playable again.
That is really cool. Okay, the most gimmicky okay, so Doug's an engineer and he has a 3D printer. So can I just tell you that he just makes shit that doesn't exist so that we have it? So like for instance, I bought a little shark vacuum, like really, one that, little rechargeable one that you can quickly pull out and vacuum up like your kitchen real quick or something instead of pulling out your entire Dyson and undoing it all and everything, right? But it had all those attachments, the little things you could put on the end. And half the time I don't use those attachments, right? But every once in a while you want one and then you can't remember where the fuck you put the vacuum little attachment heads, or you find one and it's to the wrong vacuum because you still have the ones from your old vacuum or something. And I was like, I don't want to go through that this time. And so he made a little holder for all the attachments to go on the wall right next to the vacuum. So like he does all that for me. Whatever I want like that, I'll go, hey, I have this issue. Is there anything that you can make for that?
That's
and he's
so cool.
like, just a second. And then he'll go get on his CAD cam, he'll design something, he'll print it, and then he'll make it for us.
Yeah.
So yeah,
CAD
it's pretty
cam
cool.
is awesome.
Justin, I think you and Doug would really like each other, actually. Very much so. Let's see. Who is your celebrity crush right now?
I have a few, I guess. I'm trying to think. I have like, okay, so probably I want to think like music celebrity crush. So like music crush is always going to be Sufjan Stevens. I like love that singer. Amazing, amazing music and lyrics. As far as like celebrity, like Hollywood celebrity, I would say Kit Connor, even though he's way younger than me. But I love that show Heartstopper, and it's so cute. And yeah, so that would probably be my two like crushes for celebrity crush.
What about you, Seth?
I'm trying to think. I don't. Kit Connor is pretty cute.
Yeah, he's a little cutie.
That's a good one, but I can't really think of like. I used to think Chris Pratt was super cute.
Yeah, for sure.
Until I learned what a dick he apparently is, and then I personally preferred like thick Chris Pratt over ripped Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I feel like he lost Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he lost a bunch of weight and then he kind of became a jerk. And or maybe he was all along, but I don't know, just that used to be a big one for me, but not anymore. I'm just like, ugh, no. Not interested. But I don't know, like I feel like I don't really like follow a lot of celebrities anymore. Like I'm just not
I'm
really
gonna introduce you
into it.
To the best celebrity ever that nobody knows of, okay? But he's in lots of things. Once I introduce you to him, you can go look him up and you can do what I do and watch everything he's ever been in.
Don't say Eric Roberts. Do not say Eric Roberts.
You're not gonna know him, I promise you. Okay, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Sean Doyle, Canadian actor and my forever celebrity crush. Sean Doyle has been in he's been in everything, but I can't think of anything right now, but just look him up. He's been in lots of things.
Super familiar.
And he's also an amazing actor. I'll get some clips of some of the things he's done where you're like, but he did this show for a while called Endgame, and I like chess, even though I don't play, by the way. I used to teach kids how to play chess, and because of it, I love chess. I like chess news. I like chess stuff. And he played a Russian grandmaster in a show called Endgame, and it was so good, but they canceled it, and so there was never like really an ending to it. But it was one of my favorite characters he ever played. Anyway, back in that time when he was on that show and stuff, I was on Twitter back then, and I would tweet stuff about Sean Doyle. And every once in a while, he would reply to me, and you can't do that. You cannot break that fourth wall when I'm crushing on you. Don't respond to me like you're human. I have to think that you are not human. Okay, I can't. You're yes. Don't do that. That's giving me too much.
It can be very dangerous. Like it's kind of like a never meet your hero kind of situation. Yeah.
Right. Don't respond like that. That just was awesome. And I loved it. Anyway, he's so cute, and I love him, and he's a great actor, and he's on the right side of everything, if you know what I mean. Like he is anti-MAGA, pro-LGBTQIA, and a feminist, and I fucking love him so much. So if you haven't ever watched Sean Doyle and anything, you should, because he's amazing. And this is the time where we open up the questions for you guys in chat. If you would like to ask Benny and Seth, or Benny or Seth, a question, please feel free to put your request in the guest box is open. If you're too afraid to come up, you can ask a question in chat. We'll read it out to you. Now, lately when I've been live on YouTube, Benny, something is happening to my sound, and I haven't been able to fix it. But so I'll check YouTube, but lately they've been leaving because they're like, this sound is horrible.
I got hey Zan Master. I have us up on the Deconjunction as a horizontal.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I made sure to throw it up there.
Okay, it just said please fix the audio. Can't hear, the echo is bad, but I don't know what to do. And it says it's unlistenable.
If you're
I don't know
casting from the browser, just like refresh it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Just refresh it?
Yeah, just refresh the browser. That usually fixes it.
Okay, I'll try that.
Usually, like for some reason, like computers get all discombobulated when they're like trying to, like the way I cast on the Deconstruction Junction is from straight from my iPad Mini, and it works a lot better because it's like straight from the app. Whereas if you take it from the browser, there's a lot more like encoding and decoding going on, and I think like the sound codecs don't match up.
Okay, I might need to talk to you after the show to see, because I have an iPad mini that I could set up, and because I use my iPad to ask you guys a question, so I don't want to use my iPad to be the thing, right? Because I like to use that, but I do have an iPad mini too, so maybe I need to talk to you about redoing how I have my setup later.
I need to see if it's possible to do that on PC though. Like, do you have a MacBook too, by chance?
No.
Oh, darn it. Well, because like that's how I have it working on my MacBook, but I think I've tried it on PC and like it won't see the iPad like because of the drivers.
Oh.
But yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I'll figure something out. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah,
I also
we're gonna get
go
you a new
away,
PC.
Google. Yeah, we are gonna get me a new PC. So, Google, I don't need you. Or Siri, I don't need you. Whoever you are, shut up. This is how I talk to my AI.
Completely
Siri,
understand.
I'm done.
It's always a struggle.
I stopped using AI.
Siri, go away. Okay, I'm glad you don't understand. Go away. Thank you.
I don't like the updates.
I don't understand.
Like Apple, where Siri's like all around the border of your like device. I can't. I hate this version of Siri. It's awful.
Me too. She comes up all the time. I didn't say anything that even sounded like her name.
Right?
And she came up. And I'm like, why? Why are you popping up right now? I didn't say your name. Hi, Yaya. How are you?
Is Schmalexa occasionally will like, oh God, she just
You just set it off. I could hear it.
Sorry. She, well, the reason that we got rid of most of our like Amazon Echo devices is because we would randomly hear her in the other room be like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to help with that or something. And I'd just be like, what? Who are you talking to?
Oh, all your ghosts are ordering shit for themselves that they couldn't get in the 1800s, Seth. They're like, wow.
Finally, that's what I've always wanted.
I know. Like, they're like ordering from her. Yaya, how are you today?
I'm doing great. 47, by the way. I'm so glad you started your own lives.
Oh, thank you. Is it your birthday today?
No. May 22nd.
Oh, you had one not very long ago. That's nice.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, happy belated.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I have a question that I've been thinking about for a while. I've been watching a lot of these deconstruction lives for quite some time in the kind of process myself. But, okay, I'm going to try to word this the best way I can. So understanding that there's no real heaven or hell, what happens to, so I'm also a big true crime follower, obsessed. And love. I'm so glad I have the ID channel. Addicted.
Forensic Files is a must.
Yeah, we literally like took a nap together to Forensic Files.
I love sleeping to Forensic Files. Oh my God, that voice.
Yeah.
My niece, this was funny. She was talking about like most people go to sleep with ASMR or something. My my aunt goes to sleep with, and they plucked her eyebrows out
Yeah.
and killed her
Yeah.
with the knife
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
cut
You
her
hear
head
that
off.
and you're just like,
And that's
oh,
like, oh, that's so
finally, I can
soothing. So
relax.
soothing.
I don't get it. It's weird, but
Okay,
yeah,
so
I can.
you don't get it. Oh, yeah, very soothing. My mom's like, "Don't you have bad dreams?" I'm like, "No, not at all." But here's my question. So we know there's horrific people in the world who do horrible things. And one of the things that soothes like the parents of these people, this or their children, this has happened to, or just, me, we think, okay, there is going to be some justice in the afterlife. So how do you deal with that? How do you answer that question?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm kind of different from like a lot of other deconstruction people because I was not like a major like Christian growing up. So like afterlife to me is more so like just like this ghosty kind of feeling. Like I don't know if it's heaven or hell or if they're just ghosts flying around the earth or nothing at all, which is most likely the case is nothing at all, but we don't know. We like with quantum mechanics and like all the weird stuff that happens with people and stuff like that, you can't say for 100%, like this is the way that it's going. We don't have anybody from the afterlife to tell us, but more than likely if we were to just go with like what we've observed, then I would say, yeah, like I wouldn't be like saying like they would receive any kind of like punishment or anything, but I would say like like they can't hurt anybody anymore, and like whoever they did hurt is at peace if they are no longer living. That's pretty much what I would say like to anybody. I don't know if I would like go into like any. You could probably, or you could go like and talk about a couple different like beliefs. Like Native Americans believe that like you can your like spirit will pass on to the afterlife, and like you and your enemies are like friends and stuff. I don't know, like there's all kinds of stuff. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, I would just say. More than likely
reincarnation. That's.
I mean, in a way, reincarnation's kind of a thing, like because energy transfer. But I don't know. Like it's
It's a
tough.
hard question. I've been thinking about it a lot. What do you think, Crystal?
As far as like what happens to bad people,
Yeah, like
is that what you mean,
bad
or what
people.
happens? I think nothing happens to them. And I think that if we would stop living for an afterlife and start living for this life as a society, we would stop worrying about eternal retribution and start understanding that we need to help people where they're at right now, do things right now here on this earth. And I think that is one of the biggest detriments to society is religion, believing that there's an afterlife. Because of it, we think that eventually there will be retribution, or there'll be flowers for those who are good. And in reality, if we would deal with these things in the here and now, that would be a lot healthier for all of us. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think the evil people get away with evil because we allow evil people to get away with evil.
Yeah.
I see. So, like trying to put more prevention and understanding of the criminal mind in this life.
Yeah, and I think it starts with children, though. If we actually cared about children and stopped pretending because we say stuff like, oh, don't get an abortion if you love children or whatever. That's so fucking stupid. Let's start taking care about the children who are alive and on this earth, and let's start making sure that they are fed and cared for. Let's start saying that it's okay for people not to have kids. Let's start making that normal, because a lot of people don't want to have kids. They're pressured into having children, and then they do not love nor care for those children appropriately. I am one of 8 children from 2 parents who didn't give a shit about the 8 children that they had. And people used to say to me, would you rather that you had been an abortion? And I don't know why they asked that question, because I think they think that everybody's going to say, of course not. But yeah, I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have known if I had been an abortion. I would have no knowledge. I wouldn't know. But what I do know was that I was one of 8 children that was not loved nor wanted, was severely neglected, severely abused. And I don't want that on, I don't wish that on anybody, you know? So I think we have to stop. Let's start worrying about right now. I'm going to read you guys something. It's my favorite thing. I read it yesterday. I'm going to read it again. Because if everybody lived like this, the world would be a much more beautiful place. I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good thing, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any fellow creature, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. I'm never going to be on this earth again. Neither are you. Let's do all the good stuff right now. Let's do it all right now. And let's stop worrying about whether people will have retribution when they unalive, because they won't. It's not going to happen. Let's do all the good stuff right now. Take care of each other, love each other. Do it now.
Yeah. I was going to say that on the opposite side of that, and what Crystal was saying about, the idea of retribution or reward at the end of your life. I think that the fear that the possibility of hell instills in people, especially kids, is I think that impact cannot be overstated enough, because it's personally for me, that was something that stuck with me years after I, had decided that I wasn't a believer anymore. It was still something I don't, I'm not in this anymore. I'm not thinking about it actively. I'm not going to church, but it's still well, shit. What if I've just signed up for eternal torture because I walked away from the religion? But I just think that messes with people's heads so much and makes them do wild things because they have that fear instilled in them. And people who don't have good mental health resources, or the stigma around talking about that stuff, it just creates a cycle where it ends up with people taking it out on others, and just a lot of the crime that we talk about. I think it a lot of it sadly goes back to that. So that's one thing. But then as far as afterlife, the one thing that I've thought about is when we unalive, the chemicals that get released in your brain, the mind is wild. And time can be anything in your brain. I remember one time we were playing, do not do this is very dangerous, but we were playing the pass out game. And my friend did it to me, and when I was out, I felt I had been asleep for like 8 hours. Like so much happened in that span of like seconds. And there's a Black Mirror episode about this too, where like um it's like this old video game and everything in this person's head, and then you realize that this has happened in like a millisecond, like this whole long story. And so I think like as far as an afterlife, that trip that we go on when we unalive might feel like a really long time. And like it's kind of hard to say, but that's one thing. And like the kind of life that you lived might play into that. So like if you were like a shitty person and you hurt a lot of people, maybe their final trip that they go on is going to be like hellish for them. So that's one thing that I kind of like think about sometimes that helps a little bit. But I definitely do get that that struggle of like when you hear about people being hurt and like people that have suffered and gone through these horrible things, and seemingly they get no
justice.
Yeah, no justice. And it's like it's tough to think about that and be like, yeah, if you don't believe in that, it's like, man, that sucks that like there's nothing for them. But I think that's just more evidence that there's not a God, there's not any sort of benevolent creator running the show, because I think it's just goes back to like nature is fucking cruel. And like, I mean, it's beautiful, like for sure, but at the same time, like if you watch a nature documentary,
like damn, nature, you scary.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think it's just we're part of nature. As much as we want to like try to fight it and say that we're not like part of that, like we're out of the food chain and all that, like we're still part of nature and you can't escape that.
Yeah,
I like those ideas. They're a little bit comforting. Two thoughts. One that I just heard recently, that if you believe God is omnipresent, that means when that child is being sexually abused, you were right there with them. Mm-hmm. God was right there with them and not interceding. Right. And that is not a God that I want to serve. Right. The second thought being, I have a degree in psychology. So apparently sexual abusers are the one type of people who can never be reformed. So I believe in genital castration for those people, first of all. I think that would be not physical castration. I'm talking about chemical castration.
Chemical.
But also, people are born psychopaths. They have determined that. And if we could identify those people before they commit crimes, I think that would be helpful. Well, so those two ideas come into mind about, like Crystal was saying, is prevention, basically. Take care of those people before we have the crimes committed. I like that idea too. So those are just a couple of my thoughts.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's new science coming out too with like DNA and CRISPR. Like this mainly because I had cancer and stuff. And I was like looking into like all the cancer research and everything, but they can identify things like markers that will show if you're going to grow up and have a tumor, or if you're gonna maybe be like a psychopath, like they might be able to see that within your DNA, like your genome, and they could use CRISPR which is like a really fancy way to say like it goes in, it finds that like sociopath code, and it just cuts it out, and then it patches it up, and like that's no longer in there. So like you can, but see, then there's like a lot of where the religious like people will say like you're playing God now, like you're messing with free will and stuff like that. But really, it's like on the science.
They have no problem with that though when it comes to keeping a woman who's dead alive, so she can give birth to a child.
Right,
they have no problem with it then.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah, that's so true. But
they only want to play God when they want to play God. Don't let anybody else play God.
Yep.
I think that there's ways that like you can do things where like, you know, if it's 100% identifiable like a tumor or like maybe some sort of like sociopathic DNA trait that's passed down, like congenital trait, then yeah, I'm all for like, why not? It's not actually taking away their free will. They're still going to be able to be shaped by, you know, nature versus nurture. You know, like who you're brought up with and who you're around definitely affects like your upbringing, you know, yourself. And so I think that that's completely fine to like help a person along and maybe extend their life, like, and also help their general just mental health.
Well, the idea of that playing God would be narrowed down to us understanding that eating healthy prolongs life. Is that playing God? I mean, just because we have the understanding of what helps us live longer or whatever it might be, is that taking away somebody's free will? That's how stupid that comment is.
Yeah.
But can you tell me what CRISPR is? I just had a mastectomy 2 weeks ago. I would have loved if that had been prevented.
Right.
But just tell me I don't understand. Is that a medical process, or tell me a little bit more about that?
What CRISPR is like,
while you guys talk, I'll be right back. Okay.
This harkens back to when I was pre-med and I was in my genetics class. It was just kind of like new stuff. mRNA and an RNA. It's like a little like computer code. Your DNA is like a computer code strung out. Yeah. And RNA or mRNA will come on, and usually what it will do is like it's like a little like train car that rides the computer code, and then it'll spit out proteins. And those proteins will end up being things like this protein's for eyeball like creation. This protein's for bone creation, you know, or like this protein's for enzyme creation or like an organ, or it might be for a tumor. And like that's where they have been able to like identify these certain parts of DNA just from studying the genome over and over again. CRISPR is a technology that acts like that train car, but instead of like reading it and spitting out proteins, it like can actually alter your DNA. Oh. I think it's a little scary, and it's like eugenics does get like a little bit into the conversation. But I think there's a way through there that's moral, like, you know, like within our subjective morals and ways that we could prevent horrid things that happen to people. Like, I don't know. Is it good for the world if cancer is, you know, like undone? And
I think so.
I would think so too. I don't know.
Just not producing blonde hair, blue-eyed babies. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like that would be weird, honestly. And like, where do you draw the line? I think that's a discussion that should be had in the greater like science and population. But like right now they started to use it to identify like cancer traits, because cancer that I had and like breast cancer is something that they can identify, you know, like while you're in the womb, like really? Still developed.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I'll look. Is CRISPR a
CRISPR?
Is it an acronym?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, cool. Love talking with y'all. Thank you. I can drop
gene editing.
out.
That's what it's called. Yeah, gene editing. So like it actually like it's interesting stuff, and it's all like kind of new, and it's all coming out. So hopefully they can do things like prevent cancer or regrow limbs with it.
Even in the womb, almost.
Well, even like after the womb too. Like you can like literally somebody losing an arm, they can like regrow your limb with stuff like that. They can alter cells and how DNA works to where like they can make it work however. Now that again, talking about like possible like mutants or something, maybe they get crazy with it where they want to grow wings on a human. You know, I don't know, but I think that there's good to be done in that.
Mm-hmm. And you said you were pre-med.
Mm-hmm.
So you know.
Not anymore. No, I changed. I don't know. I had like my friend passed away when I was in college, and I started like looking at how I didn't like the stuff I was like studying. I mean, it was interesting. It was good to know, but I'm more of a history buff, and so I went over to become like a history major. Now I'm like an accountant. So I'm just a jack of all trades.
You flopped around a lot, didn't you?
I'm a jack of all trades.
But that gives you a good background in a lot of things, which I appreciate.
I want wings too, Ursa. Sanctuary.
Yeah, let's do that.
Wings would be kind of cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate you all.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see if I can drop myself down.
Yeah, how are you? Wait, before you go, I want to know how you're feeling. How are you doing since your mastectomy?
Okay, thank you for asking. So my surgeon said, it's going to be, I've had many other surgeries. But he's like, this is not like that. This is a major surgery. It's 6 to 8 weeks recovery. So I'm going in thinking I'm going to be in bed for, at least 4 weeks. And I had planned all these things like, okay, I'm going to lay in bed, read cookbooks, and my mom can organize my house. I was up and going in 2 days. The pain was minimal compared to all the other things. So if you're in here and you're, having to have a mastectomy, obviously I can't speak for everybody, but it was not bad. It was compared to a lot of things, it was not that bad. So I might be an anomaly, but thank you for asking. I'm doing great. I just, what the worst part was? The absolute worst part was the drain. Having to empty that drain twice a day and the annoyingness of being basically on a leash. That was the worst part for me. But I got that out about a week ago, so I'm doing well. I still have to be careful. But thank you for asking, Crystal. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I had shoulder surgery, and they also told me I was going to be in bed. Well, I was going to be immobile for 6 weeks, not be able to move the arm at all. And it's my right hand, so it's, my dominant hand. And then after surgery, he goes, you don't even have to wear the sling if you don't want. You did great. And so I didn't have to wear the sling or anything. And then when I went into physical therapy, she thought I was mistaken. She thought I didn't know that I had surgery. She was like, I don't think you've had the full surgery. I think he just did a cleanup. I don't think he, and I'm like, no, I had full rotator cuff surgery. But yeah, so it went very well too.
Give you the worst case scenario so that when that doesn't happen, you feel, oh, I'm doing great. Or if other people have it, like you didn't have. I'm not sure what the theory is behind that, but I'm glad it wasn't.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, even my uncle had rotator cuff surgery not long ago, and he told me, be ready. You're going to be laid up for and so, and he said that his, another relative of his or something, had surgery, and they didn't do the physical therapy, and now they still have no motion in their, shoulder or whatever. And yeah, so he was like, make sure you do it. And I do it.
Well, maybe you and I have superior genes. Let's go with that.
We do.
There you go.
We're just badasses, and that's it, Yaya.
Yeah.
You're not like
no
other
little
girls.
surgery. No. We're not like other girls.
Not like us.
That's right. Not like us.
Yes.
Thank you, love.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming up. We really appreciate you. Big W in the chat for Yaya, you guys. That was really nice. If you are in the chat and you want to come up and ask the guys a question, the guest box is open. But here, while we're waiting, I have questions that I've never really sat down and talked to Seth or Benny about. I know a little bit about both of them, but not in depth, okay? So, Benny, you never really fell for this shit the way some of us did. And your mom didn't force it upon you the way some of our moms did. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it was like for you and your walk with the Lord, if you will?
So I was raised Catholic. I've told this story a few times before, and I've posted this cartoon. This is what it's going to lead into in the Discord before. I can always post it again. But we would have CCD, which was like every Wednesday, or it was like a morning thing where it was, you would go and you would learn Catholic things and you would like do coloring. I only did it until about like first or second grade. I was like 6, maybe 7. And one night or like one class, they played this like cartoon for us, and it was called like The Proudest Tree or something like that. And it's a book, and like it's a pretty famous book from the 80s, I think. I think it's called like The Proudest Tree. Yeah, The Proud Tree. And if you look it up on YouTube, it's there, and it's very like traumatizing of a cartoon to be watching like, as a kid, because it's about this like tree that's like, oh, haha, I'm the coolest tree ever, and he's like talking to the other trees, and he's like, I'm such a good looking tree, and then all of a sudden he's like being cut down, and he's like, ah, and they're like axing him and like cutting him down. He's like, what's happening? And then he wakes up, and he's the crucifix, and like he's being carried by Jesus, who's like being like tortured and whipped, and like Jesus has to like carry him through the thing, and then like he like passes out or something, and then like wakes up again, and Jesus is nailed to him. And
oh my God!
And this is all like in a cartoon, and like he's like bloody, and it's very dark and scary, and it was first off like, why are trees talking? I don't know what's going on there. But it was just like so scary. It freaked me the F out. Like I had like a panic attack as a kid because I was like, I don't like any of this. Like I didn't quite understand it, and it just seemed like really violent.
Mimi said gross. That sounds like an evil version of the Giving Tree. I wonder if they were trying to rip off the Giving Tree.
I'm sure. Yeah. If you ever look it up, The Proud Tree on Facebook, it's there, the whole thing. It's like 30 minutes. And it's like kind of scary, like cartoon. It's like that book kind of cartoon style where they're like still pictures, but they like move, and then I don't know. It's very cursed. Very cursed. And I started crying, and like my mom like came and got me, and she was like, you don't ever have to go to like CCD ever again. And after that I was like, I have such a bad taste in my mouth about all of this, and I was just like, this is evil, I don't like it, and that was that.
I would say that the verdict is in. I've done my 2 seconds of very in-depth research, and Shel Silverstein wrote The Giving Tree in 1964, and The Proud Tree was written in 1976. I would just say it's another thing that Christians ripped off and tried.
Yeah, I love Shel Silverstein.
Me too.
Shel Silverstein.
Me too.
Yeah. I know I've like read The Giving Tree, but yeah, The Proud Tree is just it's terrifying. Churches, don't show your kids that freaking cartoon. Like, and if your kids like it, there's something wrong.
Or so it turns more people away.
Or yeah.
Now we think maybe we need to get that in the hands of every church.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's how it's always been. Like then after that, anytime I would still go to church and stuff and sing the hymns. I loved the Alleluia song. I loved like the little hymns that were fun. But then I would like look up and there'd be this like really detailed bloody Jesus like nailed to a cross, and I would just be like, ugh. I couldn't look at him, like
Yeah.
it was scary.
Yeah, I can imagine. Good morning, Grana. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. My friend's sick, but I'm good. So,
Anna,
hey, I have a question for you guys. If you have an argument, what's the best way you've found to work together to solve it?
I like that.
that's a really good question. Communication, explaining your point of view and using my opinion or like my view or like this made me feel like type of like that type of communication and explaining yourself, I think is very helpful. Like Seth and I, like we've gotten into arguments before, but we're like 7 years together, and I don't think we've ever been in an argument that's gone on longer than like maybe like an hour. Before we like calm down and we'll like actually just like say our feelings, and
Yeah.
and,
I'd
and
say
like hash it out.
taking a step back and like not, because I have a problem with like catastrophic thinking where one bad thing happens and it's like, oh, I'm cooked. This is over, and like being conscious of that and making sure that you avoid those traps, those mind traps. And yeah, just like taking a breath. You might need to like walk away for a minute, but that's okay. And talk it out. Like don't let it fester. And that's also advice for myself, because I'm very passive and sometimes passive aggressive, and
if something's bugging you, just let it out. Like do it when you're like not very emotionally charged. Like let it out and try and get it out there as like neutral as you can. I think is the best way. And active listening is another thing. Like a lot of people will talk with each other, but they're more talking to each other, and like listening and really like giving them like the time and like your empathy and sympathy and like the ability to kind of put yourself into their position, I think really helps. It can also be bad though, because I end up being like too empathetic to where I'm like, come on guys, like maybe John Wayne Gacy was just misunderstood, or I'm not like that's a really bad example, but you know what I mean.
Benny is the good cop in every situation. Let me just tell you guys that he's one of my best friends, but he is too nice, and that is why we make a good balance.
Right.
Especially if the person is like remotely attractive. He'll be like, oh, like.
Yeah,
it's okay. He's not so bad, and then it turns out they were that bad. And oh, who would have imagined that? Everybody else but Benny.
Been there, done that.
No Christian like upbringing has like made me try to see like the absolute best in anybody. It's wild. I like to a fault.
How did you two meet?
Online,
yeah.
On the apps.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. Where did you guys go for your first date? Look at you guys go like online on the apps, whatever. But back in my day, it was at a bar, right? That was the cliche place, right? And it was always embarrassing to say like, I met him at a bar, you know, on the apps or whatever. But it's still my goddamn story. I met Doug at Sandy's bar, and we both went to that little dive bar because we were like, hey, I don't feel like going to a pickup bar because I'm here to play pool, not pick up on somebody. And then we picked up on each other.
That's awesome.
So that's our story, and I like it. But you guys should like your story. Whatever app it was your app, and it was your cute little dating story.
It's just kind of cliche. Like,
well, I was gonna say the Spotify. It was like during the time of Spotify Wrapped, and like it would have you like your end of the year, all the music that you've been listening to for the year. And everything, and we did a thing where we like shared our Spotify Wrapped, and we have very, very, very similar taste in music. And
that's cool.
That is something that like I hold very dear. Like I will kind of be judgy of people based on music they like, or more so like if they're like, oh, I just like all kinds of music, and it's like you don't like music at all, do you? Like you'll just turn the radio on.
I do like all kinds of music. Don't. Because like
you actually like will sing songs and like things like a lot of people.
I know the songs.
They don't know.
I know those freaking songs.
You know, and like that's fine.
I think the issue with that statement though is like personally when I would ask that question because it was I wanted somebody that like I could go to concerts with and like like listen to music and we would just like jam together and
a lot of our exes
I would ask that question like what kind of music do you like, and if people just said like all kinds, it's like what are you gonna do with like what am I supposed to do with that answer?
True,
that doesn't
I mean
really
so
tell
like
me anything.
If you were to ask me that question I wouldn't just go all kinds, but the reality is like with everything about me, whatever my favorite has to do with like my mood or the situation at the time. Like I don't have a favorite color, but I have like favorite colors for certain things. Like I would love a cherry red 1964 and a half Mustang. I have a green Mustang, and it's a 66, but I'd like a 64 and a half cherry red. But red isn't my favorite color. I just think cherry red Mustangs look badass, right? So for me, and so the same with music. Like I don't listen to rap every day, and I couldn't tell you the top 10 rap artists, but I will listen to some Kendrick Lamar any day of the week because goddamn he's good, right? And I love listening to Black Atheist Rants. If you haven't listened to his atheist rap, you freaking should because it's great, right? But my favorite music is jazz, and so like if I'm gonna listen to something that's gonna be like my favorite music is jazz, but I'll listen to Pinkbeard sing country any day of the week because he fucking is amazing at it. You know what I mean? So I like all kinds of music, but it depends on my mood. Today, do I feel like putting shit kickers and a 10-gallon hat on and doing a line dance? Yes, I do. Okay, tomorrow I might want to scat with Al Jarreau. Okay,
right. Okay, like when it comes to like musical taste, I would say it's a like varied palette that I have. Like everything from like really hardcore like gangster rap from the South, like 3 6 Mafia, to I don't know, like adult contemporary, like Seals and Croft or something. Like I got it all. I
know your favorite music is that is what's it called? The worship songs. All the worship songs are your favorite.
Hillsong.
Contemporary Christian music.
Hillsong. That's what I'm thinking of. Hillsong. Yes.
Oh God, I unfortunately know way too much about like 90s and early 2000s Christian music. Like I was lost in that sauce when I was a kid. So yeah, I know a lot of that.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. I don't know what's going
Me
on
neither.
anymore, but
I don't either.
I don't want to.
Where was our first date though? Was it? Did we go to the back line?
We saw Deadpool together.
Was that
that's cool.
We did see Deadpool. Mm-hmm. That was like more of like, I don't even know if that was really a date though, was it? Would you consider that a date? That was like hanging out.
It was the first time that we like met.
Yeah.
Actually, like
in person.
You know, we had been talking for like 6 months before we actually saw each other the first time.
First time I saw you was at Pride, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
No, that was after. That was after Deadpool.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows anymore?
But like, I do.
Doug catfished me in person.
Wait, what?
I feel like I remember the first time I saw Seth in person. I was up it was an indoor Pride, and it was inside of the CHI Center, which is here in Omaha. And I was up in the bleachers, and I saw him like down on the main floor. Like, it's like a concert venue, basically. And he was down in like the general admission area, and I could see him like from the bleachers. And I was like, oh, so that's what he looks like. I just remember that.
Doug and I were at a pool hall, and he walked in, and he was wearing cowboy boots and Levi's 501 jeans and this really long duster and a cowboy hat, really nice, suede Stetson. And I said to my friend, I ain't never been with a cowboy. And he's not a fucking cowboy.
He's playing you. What?
He catfished me. I thought he was a cowboy. He just liked dressing up. He had just lived in Wyoming for a long time, so he had just got back from Wyoming, and that's what they wore there. So, still never had that, so thank you. Still never. Fucking true. So
true. Like, would you have stayed with him, though, if he was, like, a cowboy?
Does he have to think like a fucking cowboy?
Well, yeah, like, I don't know, if he dressed like a cowboy, I feel like...
Actually, he did think like a cowboy back then, and I did stay with him because, I was a little conservative. Obviously, I wasn't that conservative. I was at a pool hall, and I was, picking up on somebody, so... That was one of my times where I had backslidden, I guess.
I feel like the 80s had those... Everybody was
80s and 90s. This was now the 90s. We have moved into the 90s yes, it's the 90s because my son is born, so it's the 90s now.
Aww.
And we got married in 1995, so we are a 90s couple for sure.
I can imagine
this year,
what that wedding,
30 years.
I bet I know exactly what that wedding kind of looked like.
Okay, tell me about my wedding, and you tell me something, and I'll tell you what really happened. Okay, go ahead. What was it like?
Light pastels,
black and white,
big bangs. Dang it, black and white, big bangs.
Black and white. I did have some bangs. I did have bangs.
I feel like blonde, like kind of like a bob haircut, with bangs, and then. Like a nice long, like floral print dress, maybe.
Just ivory white straight dress that I put beading
from
on.
California, though. I'm thinking like Midwestern wedding. I'm like picturing like my aunt's wedding, which is pretty much.
I got married at the Garden of the Gods in Colorado.
Oh yeah, you did.
I remember you. That's cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was. My friend said, why don't we do it at the Garden of the Gods? And I was like, fuck yeah. Who doesn't want to say 20 years from now that they got married at the Garden of the Gods? And here I am, 30 years this year. I still love saying that. It's so cool.
That's awesome.
Where did you get married? The Garden of the Gods.
my aunt got married, and they had the marriage in a wedding or in a chapel that's within a hospital that she worked at, and I felt like that was like very 90s, like, or like in a mini mall or something.
Yeah, my mom was mad. She was so mad that we were getting married outside. She believed that God could not sanctify that marriage if we were not inside a church. And I was adamant that that was the dumbest thing I had ever heard, because God's church was nature, and that I should be getting married outside because that's where like really God is. He created the sanctuary where I was going to get married, right? And she was so mad that I was getting married outside. And I was like, but I actually have a pastor and stuff who is ordained and stuff. So like I could not fathom that it needed to be in a building. Like to me, that was just, I think I was deconstructing is what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like all these rules you give me, I think are stupid, and I'm going to go against them. So I just didn't know I was doing that already. But I was like, nah, I'm getting married outside. She hated everything about the wedding. My husband wore a tux with a bolo and a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And so did my son. And I thought they looked adorable. And, you know, because we were getting married in Colorado, I had to give them that Colorado feel, right?
Well, like Garden of the Gods is like, yeah, it's got to have that Colorado feel. I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. Bolo tie, cowboy hat, kind of like a desert almost, because like Garden of the Gods is like right before the desert. It's like between the mountains and the desert, I think. Yeah,
and we got married under. It's a place where they say like it's either, I can't remember if it's called the Three Veils or the Three Sisters or something, but we got married right by that rock formation and everything, and it was really, it was a beautiful wedding.
I swear I've been out to the Gardens of the Gods. See, like that's like where my family would always like go and trip.
Levi's 501s, buddy.
What?
He said Wranglers.
I go with 511s. Or 5.
No, you gotta have the original button fly.
Yeah, button flies. Now that's something you don't want when you're drinking. I don't drink as much anymore, or have button flies.
That's so funny.
Like fighting with your button fly for like 2 minutes before you. That's how you pee your pants.
Yeah, for sure. Grana, did you have other questions for Benny and Seth?
Also, did that answer your question?
I'm at the hospital with my friend, so.
Did I had to put it on your question? I didn't know if it was like was that like a debate argument you meant, or like a couples argument?
I mean, like a couples argument, you know, like, because I don't have a partner right now, but I figure if I ever decide I do want to have a partner, all the information I can get about communicating well, I want. You know, like.
It's one thing that Seth and I do have. I would die on that hill. Like, we've been through a lot too. Where just recently, like with all the cancer stuff, and I had to go through this huge surgery. Like, I have the biggest scar from it. It's 14 inches.
Wow.
You know, they had to take out like 60 lymph nodes that were cancerous.
That's a lot.
From my aorta, which means they had to take all the like innards that are blocking all of that. They have to like move it out. So it was a big thing where Seth
surgery.
Seth took time off. We went out. We flew out to like Indiana. He, you know, made sure I was cared for. Like slept in the hotel room the first night. You know, like went and got me sodas, even though I wasn't supposed to drink any sodas. Stuff like that. So
I hear you.
I don't know. Communication, I think, is what got us there.
Nice. That's awesome.
Buddy says, I'm in Texas. They take dressing up as a cowboy seriously. Buddy, I'm going to be in Texas in July in Austin. if anybody's in the Austin area and you want to like meet up with me and say hi, I'm going to be in Austin in July to go see my little grandbaby, the one in the stickers. If you are one of the subscribers, you will see my cutie patootie in the stickers down there. She's the cutest baby in the world. Okay, you guys, I could talk to the two of you all fucking day long. Okay, so I actually think that we should move on to the game because this will go on way past 3 hours if we don't. So if you are in the chat and you want to come up and play everybody's favorite game, Divine or Decline, the request box is open. Who is good at it? Who? Except Zena May. Zena May the other day got 9 out of 10 correct. 9 out of 10.
That's good.
I think 5 or 6. I've never gotten into that.
Yeah, I'm not good at it. Even though I know the Bible pretty well, I'm not good at it for some reason.
Well, what do you mean for some reason? It's a hard game. That's why I like it. Because the Book of Mormon and the Quran steal from the Bible. So, of course, they all sound alike. And, of course, the Book of Crystal always sounds like the Bible because, well, I am as big of a bullshitter as the people who wrote the Bible. So, of course, I know how to make it sound like that.
I feel like there's also this level of, like, how much we like project onto what we read from the Bible and stuff to where it's like, no, that's not what it says. I swear the verse goes like this.
Right.
That's your subconscious.
I'm sending some invites to a couple of friendlies who I think should come up and play the game with us. If you guys want to come up and play with us. Oh, I forgot. Fee has a really good high score too. I think so does Bash and Thinker, but nobody has gotten a perfect score to my knowledge. Nobody has claimed that.
So Philly Red's got like an important thing. I just looked it up. The Madeleine is like a boat with like humanitarian supplies. You already know what it is, and
yes.
I guess like it's trying to make its way over to Gaza, and
yes,
I'm hoping that it gets there safe. So yeah, everybody keep an eye on that, and
absolutely
everybody needs to be watching on how it's received by Israel. Is honestly that's all I'm gonna say. Because
all right, Mezzo also says that he's awesome. Mezzo, why don't you come up and play with us? Are you busy right now? You can come up and play with us. I can't even invite you, so I don't know. Anybody else want to come up? Okay, if not, we're going to go ahead and get started.
I don't blame you for not wanting to come up. It's hard.
Y'all are chicken shits is what I get out of it, okay? Oh, yeah, I forgot. You are bananaed.
Oh,
okay,
shit,
I forgot about that. Dang it.
That's why we didn't have ass today. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's why there was no ass.
There was no ass.
I hate when I miss ass. No Sunday ass.
It kind of ruins.
It's like just on a Sunday without ass right when I first wake up in the morning.
Yeah, if I don't have ass in the morning.
On a Sunday, it's really disappointing.
Don't even talk to me until I
only get ass once a week. It's on Sunday, and then when I don't get it, it's like, what the fuck, you know? Okay. Moving away from the ass and on to Define or Decline. If you are a subscriber, you have special stickers for the game. They are in the little emoji sticker things. Put a D with a halo up if it is divine. Put the D with the horns that's facing backwards if it's decline. Here's how we play. I'm going to read a phrase. If the phrase is from the New American Standard Bible and it has not been misquoted, that means the answer is divine. If it is from the Quran, if it is from the Book of Mormon, or I made it up, or I bastardized something, then it's decline, okay? So that's it. There's no points. There's no winners. There's no losers. Just a bunch of people who are bitter at the end of the game. So let's get started. Okay, ready? I'm going to... Do you guys want me to go Granny down to Benny or Benny up to Granny? Which way are we going on the answers today? Benny up to Granny. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Bless those who persecute you, bless, and do not curse. Benny boy.
Yeah. I don't think that it's a decline. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay, Seth.
I'm saying decline.
All right, Grana.
Trinity says decline. I say divine.
Grana, you are right. It is divine. That is Romans 12:14.
That's,
12:14.
Paul said it?
Yeah, I
This
guess
is
so.
why, like, how hypocritical, like, persecution and all of that, and, like, cursing, and that's all Christians do, especially, like, the holy ones.
Paul is
Yep,
such a bitch.
He really is. Okay. And that it is he who enriches and impoverishes. Benny boy.
Such a short. I'll say decline again.
All right. Seth.
Can you read it? Read it again.
Bless those. Oh, no, that's the last one. And that it is he who enriches and impoverishes.
I'm saying decline.
All right, Grana.
Both of us say decline.
Okay, it is decline, you guys. That is from the Quran, and that is on Najm 53:48. Whatever that means. I
I
don't
like
know.
how you just, like,
Najm. Well, it's Najm. Najm.
yeah?
Najm.
Okay.
I don't know. As close as I could get.
Good job.
Okay. Some praise their chariots and some their horses, but we will praise the name of the Lord our God. Benny boy.
Divine.
Seth.
Divine.
Grana.
Some for chariots and some for horses, but I basically know a song, so it's definitely divine.
That is divine, you guys. Very good. That's Psalms 27.
You said divine too, sorry.
Awesome.
That's like
Awesome.
That's like a hymn, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't ever sing it, so. Yeah, she was just singing, but I never heard that one. Okay. And he shall be great like unto Moses, whom I have said I would raise up unto you to deliver my people, O house of Israel. Benny.
I mean, that definitely sounds divine, but it could also be talking Mormon. Could be talking Mormon. I'll say divine.
Okay. Seth.
I'm gonna say decline. I think
Okay.
this is some crystal nonsense.
Nonsense. We will say decline. Decline.
Decline. Okay. That is decline, and that is the Book of Mormon, Benny. You guessed it. That's 2 Nephi 3:9.
I should have went with my gut. You know, like, I thought it was going to be a trick one. You know, like a trick.
But it wasn't me.
Where it's like, oh, this
Okay.
sounds like it's Mormon, but it's actually the Bible.
Well, I have decided to do that a little bit more. I'm like, if it mentions
I know you
Moses,
have.
I might put it in there more. Or maybe sometimes I'll mention Moses because, then they won't know I made it up. They'll be like, hey, it mentions Moses.
It's cruel. It's cruel. You need, like, levels.
Okay.
You need, like, easy to, like, hard. Like, okay, this one's a level 10. Like the Amazon levels.
Okay. And then he placed his hand on his thigh, and on that day they made a covenant before God and before all the people.
That's
boy.
divine. That's divine as hell.
Okay, Seth.
I think I know exactly what it's talking to.
I'm gonna say divine too.
Okay, Grana.
You want?
I say divine.
Trinity says divine. I say decline.
Grana, it is decline. Crystal made that up. That's from the book of Crystal. I just knew that people put their hands on their thighs to make covenants, and they did it.
And he sounded so sure about it.
There is like literally a covenant that's made like that, isn't there?
Of course, yes, there are.
Just not
I
quite.
don't like this verbatim fallacy bullshit.
I don't even do ones that I have like. I just was like, this sounds like it. I'm just gonna put it down. I knew that I wanted to make up a verse about the thigh thing because, like, I think it's funny that people don't know that testament comes from the word testes because they would grab each other's balls to make a covenant, And so I was like, I need to put that in there.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't that literally happen with Abraham and his servant, like Eleazar?
Yeah, something like that.
But I don't.
But it won't be the same.
Yeah, it won't. God.
Okay. Behold, we lay a tool here, and on the morrow it is gone. And behold, our swords are taken from us in the day we have sought them for battle. Benny.
I'm going to say decline.
All right, Seth.
Do the opposite of what I'm saying because I'm awful.
Can you read it again, please?
Sure. Behold, we lay a tool here, and on the morrow it is gone. And behold, our swords are taken from us in the day we have sought them for battle.
On the morrow?
Mm-hmm.
Who talks like that?
You said this is New American? Is this the New American?
Yeah, New American Standard Bible.
The NASB is... I don't know if it would use the word morrow.
I think it's decline.
Okay.
That
Grana.
sounds weird.
We both say decline.
That is decline. It is weird because that would be from the Book of Mormon. That is Element 1334. And yes, morrow means tomorrow.
I mean, I know it means tomorrow.
Because tomorrow means, two.
Yeah.
And then morrow, and then they put them together and made it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
it was giving like weird Mormon.
It was. Yeah, it was. Okay, let's see. Of what avail to them will be their past enjoyments? Penny boy.
What was that again?
Of what avail to them will be their past enjoyments?
I'm gonna say divine. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm just gonna say divine. I'm taking a guess.
Seth?
Decline.
Okay, Grana?
Both of us say decline.
And that was declined. That is the Quran, Ash Shu'ara 26207.
Now that you say that, that does sound very Qur'ani, where it's like, oh, you'll get 40 virgins, you'll have all these great things, and 72.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The conclusion when everything has been heard is fear God and keep his commandments because this applies to every person. Benny.
It sounds made up. It sounds close, but I decline. I'm going to say decline.
Okay, Seth.
Decline.
Okay, Grana.
We both say decline.
Okay, you're all wrong. That was divine. That was Ecclesiastes 12:13. I like it that L says Qur'ani. That sounds Qur'ani. That sounds Momo. That's we're gonna call things Qur'ani, Momo.
That's Momo.
That's so Momo. Okay. So let's see. We have two more. And number 9. And everything. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't read words. Excuse me. Let me start over. Take two. And everywhere they went, they performed miracles in the name of the Lord. Benny.
That's divine, right?
Seth.
Oh, it was.
Oh.
Decline.
You're doing that because Benny's down there going, oh no, I made a mistake.
Well, it's like a
And
verbatim
Grandma-
fallacy thing where it's like.
We
I
both
don't
say
know.
decline. No, I'm nervous.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, she said divine. Oh, no, both said divine. Never mind. I'm forgetting the
Oh,
wrong
okay. Well, it's declined because I just made that up. I knew they said something like that. but
Signs and wonders.
I didn't know what they
Signs
said.
and wonders. It doesn't say miracles. It says signs and wonders.
Okay. And I didn't know what it said. I just knew it said something about them doing something.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I know that this says something about them doing miracles or something. All right, you guys, number 10. This is for all the marbles, okay? Winner takes all, whatever that means, because we haven't kept score at all.
This is where I win.
Certainly the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secret plan to his servants the prophets. Let me say it again. Certainly the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secret plan to his servants and prophets. Benny.
It sounds close, but I don't think that's, unless it's in the New Testament and they repeat it, that's not how it's said. So decline.
Okay, Seth.
I'm just gonna say divine.
Okay. Grana.
Trinity says decline. I say divine.
That is divine. That is Amos 3:7.
Amos.
And that is
If I counted right, that is. I'm pretty certain I got 8 right.
I was
so
going
think
off
it's true.
wow,
Deuteronomy.
good job.
Deuteronomy
Dancing
says, like God does like speak to his servants, but it's more like if it does not come true, then it is not of God or something like that.
Right. This is one that I can't remember his name is. He used to bring up Demi used to bring this up a lot because he was like, if God always tells his prophets everything he plans to do, then why didn't any of them actually prophesy Jesus clearly?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't get anything right.
Nothing right.
Well, I'm going to drop down, Crystal, but thank you all. That was
Grana, thank you for being here. You guys, big
Bye,
W in the
Grana.
chat for Grana. We love you. You're always such and Trinity too. You guys, tell Trinity we said hi. Thank you so
Trinity.
much for being here, Beth and Beth. You're Beth now. You're just Beth. That's your name.
Beth,
The two of you are Beth.
Is that like Tony Orlando and Dawn? Was Dawn?
Yes. Was Dawn the whole backup singers, or was it just one backup
Just one.
singer? Which one was Dawn?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
never know. Yeah. We used to have two
Pretty
fish.
upset.
We had two fish that we named Dawn. They were two like yellow cichlids, and we would just name them both Dawn, like as a group.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that. I love Tony Orlando. Oh, tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree.
That was about the Iranian, whatchamacallit, like hostage crisis. Did you know that?
What? Do you want to know what my mom told me that was?
What?
She told me that was for when men went to prison and then they got out, they would be like, hey, I don't know if you want me coming back home, so tie a ribbon on the tree and I'll know you're good with me coming back now that I've been released. I don't know if that's true. I'm just telling you that's what she told me.
I gotta look this up.
Well, so I watched this documentary on the Iran hostage crisis, and the wife of the like main hostage that did all the like talking at the embassy in Iran, she like went public and like wanted this like very peaceful, nonviolent like way through all of this. So she just like kind of quelled all the anger of Americans, and they came up with this tie a yellow ribbon around the tree in your front yard or a pole or what have you. And I don't know if there's like other things that had ribbons where you would tie it, maybe, but
So
I don't know.
this says it originated from the song by Tony Orlando and Dawn in the 1970s. The yellow ribbon became a widely recognized symbol of support for the return of American hostages held in Iran. Beyond this, it has also been used to represent support for troops and military
troops
service.
that are on. Yeah, that's another one.
Okay,
Well,
but wait, I
unalignment.
want to know, where did Tony Orlando get it? Like, did he get it from prisoners coming home? That's what I
think
want.
he got it from the lady. She was campaigning, and I think he made the song in like solidarity.
I thought he wrote it before she did that.
But maybe he did, and maybe it is about prisoners or something.
I don't see
Like,
anything
not
about
hostages,
that. I think your mom was smoking something.
Okay, let's see. Tony Orlando did not write Tie a Yellow Ribbon. The song was written by L. Russell Brown and Irwin Levine. The song follows a story about a man returning home from a 3-year absence and uses a yellow ribbon. But where is he? Where is he?
See, there's always a story behind the story.
The song is told from the point of view of someone who has done his time in prison.
Oh my
She did it right.
Your mom wins.
Now I've got to know what is and isn't mine, and is uncertain whether his girlfriend will welcome him home. I'm really still in prison, and my love, she holds the key. Those are actual words in the song. Okay, so she didn't lie to me. My mom was a lot of things, but she wasn't a liar, at least that time.
It got popular because of Iran and all of that, I guess. I don't know.
And just to bring this story full circle, my mom's name was Nancy, and as we said at the beginning of the show, fuck Nancy. No, just kidding.
It does bring it full
just kidding.
circle. Fuck Nancy, everybody, we're out.
We're out. Nice to see you guys. Anyway, Benny, you've been going live lately. Do you intend to continue to do that?
Yeah, I want to start doing it. I've been on a new medication that's been making me like super like lazy and tired. But it's only supposed to be for like 4 weeks. I do want to go live more because I have a studio now.
Cool.
And I have like the instruments are working. And I was just going to tell you, Seth, I actually got Ableton Live Lite, which is free. So we don't like pay for Ableton. Yeah, so I my goal is to be like a Temu version of Mezzo. So, like,
all right, I love that.
I cast him a lot on the Deconstruction Junction channel, and sooner or later, Mezzo's gonna, either blow up or move on to bigger, better things. And people are gonna have this void, and then I'm gonna fill that void with like, I can't believe it's not Mezzo.
Oh, I love that. Maybe you could get Fabian to be on your show with you.
Oh yeah. Good.
If you don't get that reference, people, okay, let me come in close. I'll hold your hand and tell you. Fabian was in the 80s a really attractive man who did covers of romance novels and became very popular for that. And then he got the gig for I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. Okay, so
Fabio.
Oh,
Fabian.
Fabio.
And I was like, Fabian's like a.
I'm sorry. Okay, back up. Tell the whole story again, but with the right name. Okay.
Yeah, Fabio. He also
Fabio.
got hit in the face
Yeah.
with like a pigeon.
A bird while he was on a roller coaster or something, right?
That was fucked up.
That is the wildest story.
Yeah. One time he was in a restaurant and somebody else famous was in the restaurant, and these girls were like, talking about him, but the other famous person thought they were talking about them. They got very rude with the people, and Fabio was like, come over and like join me or whatever. And he was super nice to them. And the whole time, that's who they were talking about. And he's super nice, I hear. So
I've heard only good things about Fabio. So if you ever meet Fabio in the streets, say hi, give him a hug. He'll probably hug you back.
Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the likes, the shares, subbies, and all the good things. And Benny and Seth, thank you so much for being here. If you don't know, you guys, I want to give Benny some kudos real quick and Seth some kudos real quick. Benny is the creator and founder of the Deconstruction Junction Discord. He has brought together well over 40 creators in the Discord and nearing 4,000 members soon, where we come together, we help each other deconstruct. We've created a community. We have helped people who are unhoused. We've helped people who are hungry. We have helped people who have needed medication. We have helped people pay their medical bills, pay their schooling, get a washer and dryer. We've helped people get medication that they no longer could afford. We've helped people with so many things because of his Discord. And so if you do not follow Benny, you should be doing so today. And if you're not a member of the Discord, the link is in my bio. It's the Deconstruction Junction. And Benny, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. Like, you literally have changed lives in such a short amount of time too. And you're very humble. You always like to make it seem like it's everybody but you. And I want you to know that we see what you do. We see the hard work you put in, and not everybody sees it, but people who are close to you, we see it, and we love you. And I'm very, very proud to call you one of my best friends. I really am. I love you so much.
You guys as friends. This is all just me trying to win over you guys to be my friend. That's what it is. So it's all selfish.
It's cool though. If that's what you're trying to do, if that's your little evil plan, what a great evil plan.
I know.
Okay?
It's gonna
to
help
be
out
friends with people. And Seth, by the way.
Wait.
Hello?
Can't hear.
We can't hear you, Crystal.
Muted. Wait.
You're more than...
Oh, now we hear you.
There you are.
I got a phone call. I had to decline. I had to decline my daughter. I'm sure I'm going to hear about that in a minute. But Seth is one of the most supportive members of our community too. You have no idea how much he does behind the scenes, how much he helps people. I don't want to give away all the way he helps people because he does it quietly. And I think that sometimes when people help quietly, it's because they want to. And I don't want to put anybody on blast who's, helping quietly. But Seth also supports so many creators. He comes into the chats. He's always liking, sharing, sending the heart me, sending the gifts, and sending out subscription gifts. So if you've ever received a subscription gift, good chances you've received one from Seth before, because he does that for a lot of the creators. He is also one of the most positive and uplifting people I know. And that is why I love him. Like, he helps me so much and he doesn't even know it. So Seth, thank you again for being here. And again, I feel really honored to call you my friend. And I can't wait to meet you guys. I do hope that in October, maybe we can all go meet at your cabin for my 30th anniversary. That would be so fun.
We'll be out there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be so fun. So anyway, you guys, thank you for being here. I love you both.
Thank
you guys,
you.
Everybody
We
in
love
chat,
you.
thanks for being here. And I guess I should tell you when I'm live again, huh?
Yeah, when
that
you're
would
live
be
again.
good. By the way, do you guys know who's going to be on the show on the 19th?
Ian?
Benny knows. Ian! Allegedly,
that's
Ian
wild.
is going to
Wow.
be here.
That's big.
That's huge.
Ian, they are hard to get a hold of sometimes.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, because like, well, I've kind of learned to be my own producer doing all of this. So you know, it's who you know too. Okay, right. So I do want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Sam, because I met Sam through Mezzo and Joel, and then Sam and I have become friends. So said, could you ask Ian? And she was like, yes, I can ask Ian. So she asked Ian, and Ian agreed, and I'm really excited. But coming up, we have, let's see, my next Decon Q and A with Crystal J, except I haven't updated the Discord calendar, so this might not be the next one. But
there's a new channel for like the schedules too.
Oh yeah, so, that's true.
Yeah, you can post them there too. So now,
I have Tahir and Garnet going to be on the show on the 13th at 12 noon. Tahir and Garnet have a I'm so excited. They have a podcast out, and it is on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube. So it's Scattered
Foundations.
God, I don't know why I do this. I want it to be Sacred Scattered something, and my brain can't go. It messes us up every time. But it is Scattered Foundations, right? And isn't it?
It's called Shattered Foundations. Like semicolon reconstructed self. It's actually
that's
like a
what
really
I was
cool,
trying to
like
say.
Long name. I like it.
Yes, I'm sorry. I fuck it up every time. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Shattered Foundations is good too. They just do scat actually the whole time.
It's just Al Jarreau. It's him constantly scatting. And Tahir and Garnet come in every once in a while with a doo-wop. It's really good. We call them Dawn. By the way, we call them Dawn.
Dawn, yeah. I'm not even elevated right now.
They are Dawn.
They are Dawn. They really are. I am elevated right now, and I'm going to go eat
Go eat some lunch.
I love you guys.
Morning. This is a good way to spend the morning. A little hungover.
It was really fun.
So thank you.
And I hope you guys come back in a couple of months and join me again. I love you both very much. You guys have a great day. I will see you on the mean streets of TikTok. Bye, everybody. Bye, YouTube.
Bye, Crystal.
Bye.
No, the game is not accurate. The game is not accurate. I can't stream the game. You know, gotta be gassing Shirley, but he's not really. Welcome back, Corey.